All right, here we go. Breaking shit over there.
And it's fucking deal's hanging out.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom! And welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Boss Shot Shells. Come out to the Boss Shot Shells Steel Reserve Hunt, November 18th, 19th, and 20th out here at Stanfield Hunting. And by MLR Graphics, where we get all of our shirts in Breckenridge, Texas. Look them up, mlrgraphics.com. I'm Jeff Stanfield with the world-famous Andy
Oh,
Shaver.
boy, hit that high note, going through that puberty again.
Boy, I would give anything to go through puberty again.
Would you?
Not for the sexual shit again.
Oh, what?
That would be fun, too.
The
you know?
fucking terrible time.
No, fuck no, it wasn't either. Terrible times, 56 fucking years old.
Oh.
And you got to eat to make yourself poop sometimes. That's a bad, trust me, when you get older, shit's not as easy as it was when you was young. And I would like to be able to pee without dribbling. When I watch my fucking grandkids.
Thought about that yet.
When my grandkids piss and they shoot that shit all the way across my fucking yard, I'm like, damn, I wish I was 6 again or 5. Fuck. You peed it just ting, 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 ting. And I'm fucking like a fire hose. I'm like, so if I could go back and be young, I could shit regularly, pee regularly. Getting old is no fun.
Yeah, I've heard. I mean, it's been 30's not bad.
No,
There's
that's
still not like a lot of
fuck no, it's young.
negative.
But
Yeah.
you've been burning down the road, too, though. For, what, 8 years now? How long you been doing comedy?
7.
7 years?
Yeah, 7 years.
With us today from San Antonio. Is that first say?
All over Texas.
Is it blue or green eyes?
I don't know. What do you
Baby
think?
blue.
I think they're blue. I can't tell really. I don't have good eyes. I'm old.
Seafoam green.
Seafoam green. That's a big good.
they
That's
say.
a comedian, Dean Stanfield. And he's got more fucking hair than me and Andy'd have if we grew our hair out for 3 weeks. And you grew a mullet like what, 5 years ago?
Yeah. No.
Your eye color, you're not Mexican. That's what I was saying. I could tell by your eye color.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, some of the what do they call them? Oh fuck, Menonitas and
Is that like
Mexico.
Mexican
blue eyes?
Mennonites?
Yeah, they have they're like the Spanish. They got blue eyes. They got red hair. Women are beautiful.
I think Mexico's got some of the prettiest women. South America, all that, some of the prettiest women in the world.
Some of the prettiest women.
I don't understand the butt deal though.
What do you mean you don't understand the butt deal?
big butt thing that all the young people are
You're a
into.
Stanfield and you don't understand the butt deal.
I understand ass. I don't understand the big ass.
Oh.
I grew up in that.
Overly big?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like my wife has a nice ass on her.
Yeah.
And she had a really, really nice ass when I met her at 20. It wouldn't offend me. Michelle was always the prettiest woman in the world. You look at me and people think she's got to be a prostitute. There's no reason that she's with him.
Or he's got money.
Or yeah, a lot of money. And so
Neither one were true, by the way.
But no, I was broke. I faked it. But anyways, she had a nice butt. I don't understand these badonka bonk butts. I had a kid that worked for me one time. He said, thick thighs, would they save
Thick
lives?
thighs save lives.
And I'm thinking, they make thick motherfuckers. Some bitches are fat.
Yeah. Well, I think there's a difference between like wide and thick.
I don't get it. Like
I don't want them that big, but like that big,
right.
and then sticking out. I think it's cool when it sticks out.
I don't get that.
No?
No, I'm old. I don't understand. Like a nice butt was a nice round rear end. This badonka donk shit. I don't. Just to me, like we saw a girl in Maine whose pants ate her ass.
Thank God. She had a nice ass. She had the ass you were talking about.
Yeah,
though.
that was okay. She had like on some what would you call that she had on?
They weren't yoga. They were like flowy yoga pants. They were like yoga pants at the ass, but they kind of like tapered.
So right
nice.
in.
The scooch.
The scooch.
Yeah.
The scooch.
But she had the scooch going on. Like I was like, damn, her pants ate her ass. And then everybody's like, huh? My grandkids
She could wear
are like,
it though. Like there's a lot of people that wear that shit and they can't pull it off. She pulled it off. God bless her.
Yeah, you want to see bad fashion, go to an airport. There are women wearing shit. Some things should not be in XL sizes. I'm sorry. If you're a big woman and I say this, I ain't hurting you. I'm a big guy. Yeah. You know, the Abercrombie and Fitch don't make nothing for my fat ass, so get over this shit when I tell you the truth. Men or women wear shit they shouldn't wear. Thong bikinis shouldn't come in 2 and 3X's.
Okay, yeah, I could see that.
And
I could see that being
yoga pants if there's hell dents in them, they don't need to be wearing yoga pants. You ever seen hell dents on a chick?
Yeah, I didn't think about it till you said
I mean,
it. But
you
yeah,
think,
that's a perfect description.
They got fucking hell dents in the stomach. They don't need to be wearing them things, you know? So that makes me a fat, assist, white privileged dickhead.
Yeah.
Then I'll wear that. But
With pride.
I don't. That's my age deal. The younger guys like these butts.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
it's
big fan of the butts.
completely different. Like I think Margot Robbie is a very attractive lady. She don't have no big badonkadonk on her ass.
I'll pull up a picture.
Yeah, we got to look at that. We got to
No,
fact check that.
No, she's just regular ass.
You want the Wolf of Wall Street,
Yeah,
Margot
Wolf of
Robbie?
That Wolf of Wall Street, Margot Robbie. I can see it right now where she's got those heels on his forehead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that girl had an ass.
Yeah, but it's not. It's just a regular white girl ass.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Then I don't understand these big oversized and these women that get butt implants.
Oh, that's insane.
We saw a girl in Mexico when we were there that we all thought she's got butt implants and stuff. She come down the elevator, so I asked her, I go, what's your story? What are you doing? She was a trainer in Dallas area. Huh. She didn't have butt implants. That bitch worked out all the time.
Oh,
but she had Ezekiel's ass on a woman is what she had.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah, no Zeke. I mean, if you put him in a bikini or a thong, he'd look like some of them girls in the airport does. I'm sure.
Yeah. That'd be rough seeing Ezekiel in a thong.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
That wouldn't do a lot for you, huh?
No, I don't
Me
think
neither.
so.
I wouldn't be a fan.
So,
of
are you a married man?
No, I'm not.
Single guy.
No kids.
Single on the road.
Yes, sir.
You've had to go some real dives, haven't you, to play?
Brother, I just got back from a run. I drove 9.5 hours. We did Hyenas, and we went from Hyenas to Memphis. And I went to a bar, and I got like a manager. He just kind of books these shows for me, and then I just go on the runs. And then I still have a day job as a driving instructor for Rally Ready Driving School. So we do primarily dirt and rally racing.
That's a regular ass.
You know what? I'll concede and say that is. I mean, it's a good ass, but it is a regular ass.
That's the kind of
'cause you can't see the cheek. Usually, if a girl wears a bikini like that and she's got a fat ass,
You see the cheek.
you see one cheek on this side and one cheek on that side, and that's just kind of like thigh to the.
That's a regular white girl ass.
That's a regular white girl ass.
And a beautiful woman at that. Now, Andy.
Yep.
You don't find you think she's pretty, right?
I do.
Are you into this badonkadonk stuff? Because your wife is built like her. Andy has a very beautiful. My daughter's a beautiful gal, beautiful girl.
She's a little bit more well endowed up top than Margot is.
I'm talking about her butt.
Oh.
But Jessie is a really pretty lady. She's normally built girl.
I mean,
Jessie's the
I'd probably, if I had to, I'd probably date Margot if I had to.
Over Jessie?
No, no, probably not.
That was good,
Probably
Joe.
not.
No, not happily married. Sorry, Margot.
But that's the kind
You
of
could
girl.
have had me, 15 years ago. But not now.
When I was 21, 25, 16, 12, whatever it was, that was the kind of girl that I was attracted to. And that's the one still. I'm not saying there's a lot of these women. Like Kim Kardashian is a really pretty girl. You can take away the amateur sluttish stuff she's got going on and all the porn stuff. She's a pretty girl. She's a really pretty lady. I'm sure she's got tons of filters and shit on her stuff, but she's pretty.
Yeah.
But I don't care much for like when I was single and my young guys and I was somewhere and she would have been there and with 3 or 4 other women, I would have thought she was a really pretty lady, but I'm not interested in that big ray on.
Yeah, the wagon.
That don't yacht is my grandkids told me. I learned the word yacht means big asses this weekend.
Okay.
My grandkids are 10 and 9.
Is that an acronym for anything or just
An ass. A girl with a big ass. You didn't know that?
Well, I did this once. I figured out this weekend, but I don't know what they're talking about in elementary fucking breakfast anymore.
Yes, I don't either. And they're like, she's got a yacht on her. I'm like, huh?
She's got a yacht on her as a 9-year-old.
But they don't say it like yacht. It's a yacht or something.
yacht.
I'm like, what are y'all talking about? He said, and my granddaughter goes, her butt. I go, what? It's a big old yacht butt. I'm like, you're 10 fucking years old. And then I'm blaming this shit on Disney because what's this new show that's coming out?
It's Yacht.
Yeah.
Gyat.
Okay,
Yacht.
well, see, that's how old I am. I thought they said yacht.
She got that yacht on her.
Yacht.
She got that yacht on her.
What's that new movie they're coming out with? Inside Out? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the second one.
Yeah, and so my grandkids are telling me, and there's like, oh, this new one, she gets her period and blah, blah. I'm like, you're 10 fucking... Now, my granddaughter is 10, and she's got older cousins, girls and boys, so she knows more about this stuff than Reese, our grandson, does.
Yeah.
But she was telling me about this shit, and I'm like, Michelle, you went to a princess deal just not a couple of years ago with your grandma, and y'all did all this princessy shit. Now we're talking about periods. I didn't know about a fucking period till I was 17 on a girl.
Oh man, I got. That might be too gross for a podcast. Maybe not gross. It's fine.
Not on this one.
Not on this one. But I just had that memory pop up of not having any idea what a period. I mean, I think it would be nice, maybe around like 12 or 13, for a young man to be like, you just let him know what it is and what's happening.
Yeah.
Because you look, you see that girl, and it looks like she's gutted a catfish in her back pocket.
Yeah.
And that's a freaky situation for a young man. I mean, it's stressful for her, for sure, but for,
I honestly, I got to think back now when I realized. I remember I was probably a freshman in high school, and my neighbor girl, who's a pretty attractive girl, was at her house one time, and she had tampons. Maybe I was probably in 8th grade, and I didn't really understand the concept of a tampon. I knew what it was about, but I really didn't know what it was about.
Yeah.
I thought you started using a tampon after you started having sex at that time. I didn't realize it was a precursor that she's not knocked up. I did not understand that. So, but it was just me and my brother. I mean, so we didn't have a sister, and my mom didn't talk about shit like that. I still don't like talking about that shit. My daughter-in-laws,
Yeah.
if they bring up some girl shit, my wife don't ever talk about it because she knows, because it was me and Michelle and 3 boys. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
I don't want to know nothing about it. You know, that's a sacred area. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Necessary.
it's kind of like childbirth.
Yat is an acronym. Girl, your ass is thick.
Girl, your ass is thick.
I'm glad they
GYAT.
said yacht and didn't say that, because I
Yeah.
would have really been embarrassed.
Yeah.
But anyways, this new show talks about a period and stuff. So all these little kids, my Reese's or Jameson, Andy's youngest son, is 5. He's gonna watch the same show.
No, we'll probably be out on that if they're
Okay.
going to talk about that.
Well, that's what this next one about, is her getting her period and all this other shit. But all the things you can make about kids shows. Why the fuck do you have to have a menstrual cycle in it?
Yeah. I don't know. Controversy.
Do you think
Yeah.
2 dykes? Do you think they have their periods at the same time? Or
I
do you
bet
think
they do
somebody's
sync
bitching all
up.
the time?
Sync up.
I bet they definitely sync up. I know. What was it? High school. I was dating this girl in softball, and those girls, good Lord, they'd have like a spaghetti dinner every like Wednesday, and they'd all get together during the season, and then the boyfriends would come over and everybody'd hang out.
Definitely
then,
not college softball.
Uh-uh.
Be women on women.
Yeah, yeah. High school, they don't know yet, you
Right.
know? And I remember going in there, and one of these girls just kept bitching about losing her tampon, and then we're like, losing her tampon, like just like find another one. Why are y'all talking about this? And she meant lose it. She like lost it up there.
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
And then they had a whole conversation, and I'm just sitting there. I had never like I knew kind of what a period was and all this stuff, and I just remember sitting there going like, God, this is gross.
What the hell do? You go fishing for it, I guess? Get a buddy? Get a
That's
spotter?
what they were. Get a spotter. Yeah, get one of those
spotter.
bull hooks. Get a bull hooks underneath the on there, dig it out. Oh.
Not good.
So she lost. Was she a big girl?
My girl, the girl that was talking about it. I don't think so. I think that was. I don't say her name on the podcast, but no, she was regular sized woman.
Don't you find it? I find it interesting about lesbians is that I understand their attraction to women, because I'm a lesbian.
Yeah.
I think
At heart.
women are the most beautiful creatures in the whole world. I don't understand gay dudes, because I don't know how anybody could be. There's not a man out there that's a pretty man. To me, I've never. Wow, he's attractive. There are some men that you could say they're good looking men or whatever it is, but
Yeah.
it just
not
don't.
attractive.
No, yeah, but good girls I understand, and I understand the hot lesbians. I don't understand
Or
lesbians.
just a guy, like a gay guy, just being like, I don't want somebody trying to fuck me. That's a weird energy.
you think it's more
Like a guy trying to shove something in me or around me. You know, I just don't. Women don't try to do that. Most of them don't.
What's more gay, having a guy fuck you, or you fucking a guy? Which one's more gay?
Ooh, brother, that's chicken and the egg kind of deal.
No, not even.
You don't
it's
think so?
Not even close. It's an
No?
easy answer. So I'm starting to worry now about your hair and stuff and the eyes.
Brother, I think.
eyes.
I think there's something about. Looking at a dude, and you can like shut your eyes and kind of like, even if you're like thrusting against a man butt. I hate that I'm doing this right now, but that can't be straight. That's not like, it's not like a
So are you
woman's
more-
got curves and she's soft and
So what's more
and
gay?
Sweet. I mean, gun to the head.
Gun to the head.
Gun to the head right now. Which one's more gay? Probably banging a dude. No, probably getting banged. Yeah, getting banged.
No, not even close.
Really?
Yeah, you got to get a hard on. You got to get a hard on
And maintain one.
and maintain one. You're telling me you look at a crusty ass, hairy asshole and you can get a hard on, you're gay.
Yeah.
You know,
I could see being in a
there are guys in prison
Yeah.
that are getting butt raped right now.
Yeah.
That they have no choice.
Well, that's prison.
okay.
Yeah.
They said they're not at prison. They
That's
drank
just
too.
survival.
They
That's
drank
survival.
Yeah.
They drank too
That's
much.
getting an extra couple Kool-Aid packets. That's not gay.
Okay. They drank too
You
much.
want,
I'm thirsty.
You want some more cool, you want some more cigarettes every once in a while.
But-
So like,
Yeah.
it's what you got to do. It's currency.
But the guy that's fucking the guy in the ass
Yeah.
is gay as can be. You can't get no gayer than that. Because you got to get a hard on.
Yeah, you got to keep it.
Yeah.
I guess, man. There's some hairy women out there. I could probably go. This is Alaska, you know. This is Oklahoma. Those women in Oklahoma are hairy.
Now, see, I grew up when the Harry Bush was in,
Oh, yeah.
but it was a lot of work.
I completely forgot that women used to have bushes.
Yeah, it was like mining.
Yeah.
I mean, there was different steps. You know, their first step was getting a kiss or a French kiss. Second was doing a touching a boob. Third place was getting to use your finger action. And
Okay.
the fourth was, but really we had 5 bases because you had to mole your way through the jungle to get to the honey hole. I mean, it was-
honey hole.
Yeah, different. You know, you'd see a guy come home on Thursday, like if you worked with a young single guy and you had to work on a Saturday morning, you'd hear him there.
Picking it out of
Coughing
the
that
teeth.
shit up.
But it's just, but that was a normal. I mean, that like if you watch old 70s movies, like oh, you saw her bush.
Yeah.
You know, oh yeah, hell, saw some bush. And
I
stuff.
mean, I watched my dad. My dad had a couple Playboys that were like early '80s, and then I remembered I'd already seen a bunch of naked women, and then I opened up that particular magazine, and then it's like, that's crazy. I mean, where are the pussies?
yeah,
There's no pussies. It's just where are the pussies?
bush covered.
Bush coverage.
But it used to not be that way.
No?
Like right now, if you watch Instagram and you look at Britney Spears,
Yeah.
who's got the most fucked up Instagram in the whole world, that woman is got some serious mental
Poor
issues.
gal.
She'd make somebody a good second wife.
A second wife.
Oh, easily.
Okay, why?
Well, if you've got to be married first, have a practice wife to have a second wife. She's fucking loaded. She ain't gonna last long on this earth. If I was taking a Deadpool and had to pick some celebrities, she would be one of my wild card picks because it would pay a big odds.
Okay.
She's young.
Yeah.
Like if you woke up
She's in her
tomorrow,
30s,
if you woke,
40s,
she might be. She's probably 40 now.
Probably.
Yeah, she is because you had a poster of her when you were 12 or 13.
And doesn't she have kids?
She got
She's
2 boys.
She got 2 boys. Yeah.
But if tomorrow morning if you woke up and heard that Brittany died of an overdose of something or something happened to her, you would not be shocked.
no.
No, not at all. She is the world's Dana Plato, and you don't even know who Dana Plato is. Dana Plato is on a show called Different Strokes with Gary Coleman. What's up, Willis? You remember that show?
I
The Black
love that
Kids?
little kid.
The sister that was on there was named Dana Plato. She was very famous. Got strung out on drugs and shit. She died in Las Vegas working at a cleaners or something.
At a
she was,
Cleaners?
She just was a fuck up that got strung out on shit. I think that's what happened to Britney Spears. I think her family got her strung out on shit to keep control of her. I really do. I'm not saying she didn't snort something on purpose.
Yeah.
But I think they over medicated her and fried her out. Because if you look at videos of her just 7-8 years ago, she was still clear eyed and she was a beautiful girl. She was a very sexy the girl next door look at one time.
Yeah.
But if you watch her Instagram now, motherfucker, she ain't got no hair nowhere on her body and she shows it all the time. She was a little star up at the.
Just holding knives up and dancing.
Do you know what the transgender community now calls the vagina? You know, the friendly front hole.
The friendly front hole.
The friendly front hole. Like where do you come up with this shit at? So, someone sitting in the
Front hole people.
front hole people.
LGBT.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
They're front hole
Yeah.
people.
But they're like the LGBTQAZPQ dude's what it's in his office. He's like,
Austin
we
is
ain't
a-
calling it a pussy no more. We're gonna call it the friendly front hole. Hell yeah, that's open for everybody now. I mean, people are like, well, that's a good idea. Did you see Jim? He come up with that friendly front hole thing. Fuck Jim.
Give him an extra. Give him a raise. Give him a raise.
Yeah. The I think well, my opinion with Britney was I don't think you can get that much attention on social media and across the world without that just frying your noggin.
100%.
I think that really does something to some people, and I think it eventually it gets to a point and you just once you snap, you snap.
Well, and especially like when she got famous, she was a kid, and like you don't know who you are as a kid. Like, shit, I'm 36 now, and I probably still don't know who I am. But if you have that amount of fame at 12, 13, 14, 15, in those really, really formative years, and you don't have like a true north, you're gonna be fucked.
And
Like you're
some-
way better off if you're going to get famous to do it like when you've got your feet on the ground.
at least a little bit more stable.
Yeah.
That there's somebody offered her what was it, $5 million for her virginity?
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a Japanese guy that offered. They had like a bidding war.
Well, they're not real big, so she probably wouldn't even felt it.
Yeah, exactly. That's not even technically losing it.
Yeah, you're still. Yeah, your hymen's still intact.
Japanese fuckers.
Yeah,
I'm glad we can still make fun of Japanese people.
yeah. You know what's bad? They're the smartest people in the world.
Are they?
Fuck yeah, that whole that area from like Japan, Indonesia, all that. All that area over there. What's the Far East? I think the name of it. That's where the smartest people in the world come from. India, all the way to that area back there, where it's fucking hot. It's hot. Monsoons. They shit in the river, in the streets and shit. Those people are really smart. All the way up to Japan, which is a very clean place. But yeah, that's the smartest people in the world. But you can say what the fuck you want about Chinese people or Japanese people, and nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit.
You know, the black people don't give a shit. Have you seen a Chinese Lives Matter sign anywhere? Nope.
No.
Never. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
You know? They built our railroads.
Yep.
They don't get nobody comes to them wanting reparations.
Nope.
But they're the hardest working, smartest people in the world. They're not lazy at all.
Damn.
But they do. You're right. We can talk about them, make fun of motherfuckers all the time.
Yeah.
I don't understand the
I
difference.
think it's probably WW2 that helped out with that.
Yeah.
Because it's like Germans and Japanese. We
Yeah.
can still.
Free
Yeah.
game. Free game.
Yeah.
I don't. I get in trouble sometime on here. Everything I get some hate mail on something.
No,
Oh yeah, it's
not
hard.
ever.
People don't have a sense of humor at all. And I don't. I got in trouble for saying, is it Oriental that I'm not allowed to say?
I guess. I
I don't
know.
even understand what the
I don't know
fuck
what
bad for
rules
saying
are.
Oriental. Why is that fucking bad? And you're a smart guy. You're a comedian. You travel. You see a lot of
appreciate
people. So tell me this: seafoam green eyes. I want to ask a question for you now. How can you tell the difference between a Chinese, a Japanese, and a Korean by looking at them in the face? This ain't no kind of joker. I'm just serious. How would you tell the difference?
If I looked at them, I would go Japanese has got the tall head. There's a tall headed one. A fat headed one would be a Korean. This is going to get me in trouble. And then Japanese.
No Chinese.
Chinese would have a. They would be holding a duck. If they were holding a duck, I'm not China.
That's what it's going to be
Chinaman
then.
right there.
But we used to hunt in Oklahoma, and there was a bakery there, and it was owned by one of those guys, people, I don't know which they are, you know. And I said something to him, and he's an old man. He's in there all the time. He's in his 70s, like wax on, wax off, old guy.
Yeah.
And this young lady works in there, and she's probably 30, 35 years old. And I said something. He was talking to her something. I said, it sure is nice to see families working together and stuff. Now, I don't know how that can be misconstrued to rude. Do you? Me neither. Well, he got that way.
Yeah.
She's like, what do you mean, my father? I said, oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was your dad. Why would you think he's my dad? He's Korean. I'm Japanese. Fuck, I ain't got a fucking clue. He didn't have a duck in his hands. So I didn't know. I mean, fuck. How are you supposed to know this shit?
Yeah.
But she got all fucking pissy with me. What the fuck? I wasn't trying to be rude,
No, not at all.
Hot and sour? I mean, what the fuck? Egg drop? I mean, fuck. I don't know why people get all worked up over shit.
Yeah.
I'm a fat Italian. So people make fun of fat Italians. That don't bother me.
Stanfield is an Italian?
Well, on my mom's side, I'm Italian.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, Stanfield.
What is Stanfield? What is your side of Stanfield?
What is it? My dad is a Stanfield.
Yeah.
My mother was a Cordy.
What was his heritage?
Well, here's what's really messed up about this. Or not messed up. Here's the. My dad was adopted when he was 6 months old.
Oh.
And my grandmother, who was his grandma, but his real dad flew the fucking roost and left.
Yeah.
World War II, gone. And my grandma remarried my grandpa Stanfield. My dad did not know he wasn't a Stanfield until he was 17 years old.
Oh, wow.
When he had to sign up, or 18, I guess, for the draft or whatever it is. And on his deal, it come back. So my real last name is Hammond, or my dad's name is. But I've been a Stanfield. I'm a Stanfield. My dad's brothers and sisters, or they're half brothers, but they're my aunts and uncles.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to be a Stanfield. That's what I am. And my dad, they had some family issues, a bunch of oil money shit. You know how that shit all works. And had my dad's side of the family
people sour.
My dad's side of the family got fucked on the deals. What happened? So we grew up poor people.
Yeah.
The other side was rich people. But my grandpa.
There's not a whole lot of rich Stanfields out there.
My original
Rare
grandpa.
breed.
My original grandpa Stanfield was a very successful man, or my great grandfather, and my grandpa got fucked out all his money. It was a fucked up family deal with his wife died. He married another lady. She left everything to her kid, her daughter, and that our side of the family got left out of everything. Anyways, but my dad was a Hammond. I have no idea why I was telling all this other shit. But anyway, so I grew up a Stanfield. Yeah. But my dad was asked when he was younger Like, hey, would you like to meet your biological dad? My dad's exact words was, fuck him.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to see the son of a bitch. He ain't my dad. That's my dad. And I'm that way about stuff. I've pissed people off with talking about this. I have a real problem with people that are adopted that want to go find their real parents. I don't think it's fair to the people that adopted you and raised you. And each situation is completely different. And I understand that. And I've had friends that are in that boat, and they've told me, say, listen, I want to find out about my medical stuff and all this stuff. Well, I could do the same thing on my dad's side. My original grandpa. I don't give two fucks about meeting. He's dead now anyways, but I don't care about tracing him down or anything. But I've known people that have done that, and a friend of mine had that happen to him, and he was really hurt by that.
Yeah.
They raised a girl. They adopted her from the time she was like 9 or 10 months old, raised her great, did everything for her. And then when she turned 18, she wanted to go meet her, start a relationship with her real parents.
Yeah.
And I personally think that's pretty shitty.
Yeah. I think if it's like a kid, I think, I don't know. Like there's something about your blood that you want to go see it. But if you're being honest, like blood's not thicker than water.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
No, the people that, and normally if they left you, it's like they left you.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to
I got 3 sons.
hang out with people that,
2 of them aren't biologically my sons, but I love them just like I do Payne, our biological son we have together.
yeah,
And I treat them all the same.
yeah,
My grandkids biologically aren't my grandkids, but they're my grandkids, and I'd fight and die for them, and a heartbeat and do everything for them. So I don't understand that because of the loyalty. When you marry someone with kids, you marry those kids. That's yours. Now if you marry a lady, like if Michelle got hit by a bus and I got remarried tomorrow and I married a lady that's got 30-year-old kids, those wouldn't be my kids.
no,
That's a different situation. I understand that. But if you marry a lady and she's got kids and you're raising kids, or if a woman marries into a guy that's got kids somewhere,
yeah,
that you married into that family, that's your kids too. You should treat them that way. And every situation's different, but the adoption deal wears me out. And I see people all the time do that shit.
yeah.
And my feelings would be hurt as a parent if
Yeah, if you
we
put in
adopted
all of that
someone,
work.
done everything, raised them like ours, and does something. And then I'm thinking, what the fuck, now for Christmas, they're going to go spend fucking Christmas with these fucking people that
Low
left
lives,
them.
yeah.
And they're not all low lives. There's different situations. There's girls that get knocked up at 15 years old that they can't raise a kid, and they give a kid up so it'll have a better life. And I respect and appreciate that. But don't think that when that kid's 18 years old, you should come back in and be its mom again. I watched a series called The Resident on Netflix, and there's the kid that used to be on the Huxtable, Theo Huxtable. I can't remember. Malcolm Jamal Warner's on that show, and he plays a doctor. And his parents, they left him up for adoption when he was little. And his mom ended up being a doctor. This is the show stuff, though. And they were good people, and they raised their kid, but they gave him up because she got pregnant like when she was going to school at 19 or 20, and she knew she couldn't raise a kid and couldn't become a doctor. And then he got adopted by a nice family, and he become a doctor. And then they come back, and he's like, he didn't want nothing to do with them at all. Yeah. And then as the show progressed, he had a relationship with his parents. But he was very loyal to the people that adopted him. He goes, these are my mom and dad. They raised me.
Yeah.
And so
you can be friends with those other ones, but that's not, you're not getting that parent title.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't have no idea how we got the fucking deal here with the.
You brought it up.
Yeah, I have no idea with the Stanfield with the seafoam green eyes. Do you have that on your license plate, seafoam?
Seafoam.
Seafoam
Well, that's
green?
on my. I tried to get them to put it on my license, but they wouldn't do it.
Have you
They
ever
just
been?
put regular old green, which I think is bullshit.
Have you ever had an awkward moment on stage where nobody laughs?
Yeah, yeah, a lot.
People-
yeah, it happens. I mean, you can and like you're tired, or you go and you say the wrong thing, and then you got to get over it. Like sometimes you're just going to say something, it's not going to work, and you got to plow past it. But every once in a while, if you cowered up once, the crowd notices that, and that is real hard to come back from. Real hard to come back from.
People that have never went on stage,
Yeah.
have no idea how hard it is the first time.
Oh yeah.
That's the hardest thing I ever did was go up on a stage with just me and a microphone. I was like, the thing that helped me out was the motherfuckers in front of me were horrible. Absolutely fucking horrible.
And that's where I like, it is frustrating when people are like, "Oh, I could never do this. I can never do this." Go to one open mic. You go to an open mic. You don't even have to sign up. Just go and see what it's like. Because you go up there and you're like, "Well, fuck, I could do that."
It's exactly right. It's what I said. I was nervous. And man, they give me like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I had 5 minutes. I worked on 5 minutes of shit I wanted to talk about. And I'm not a set guy. I just talk.
Yeah.
And just whatever. I'm pretty witty about some things. And so I just talk. And some things I put my foot in my mouth and sometimes I don't. But I do that.
It's a risky move going up there without any plan. Because
Yeah, so I had a plan this first time. I had 5 minutes worked out. So, boy, I fucking practiced it. I timed it and did everything. I said I knew what I was going to do. And then I got there and I saw these other fuckers reading their phones and shit. And I thought, these fuckers are terrible.
Yeah.
And then I did my set, but I opened it up. I changed it a little bit and I started making fun of the people that went in front of me. I was like, if you want to see some motherfuckers here that virgins and can't get laid, them fucking 10 guys that talked in front of me, that would be them guys. Because there are some really losers at comedy clubs.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot. I mean, I would say probably 80 to 90% of comedians.
Oh, they're terrible.
They're terrible. Yeah. And I mean, that's what, like, you can call yourself a comedian, I would say, after probably 20 open mics. Like, that's when you start considering yourself
I'd see that.
a comedian. And in that number, there's a 100,000 comedians across the country, maybe across the world, whatever. But like true, like tenured comedians, there's probably only like 200 to 300 in America.
Right.
It's a tough gig.
That are making a living at it.
They're making a living at it. Like truly turning over some money.
I've seen some guys I thought were really funny that have never hit it big time. And then there's guys that are really, really, really famous that I do not find that funny. And Jerry Seinfeld is one of them. I loved his show.
I do not like Jerry Seinfeld.
I liked his show.
A rare opinion.
But I did not like his. I don't think he's funny.
No,
I don't think nothing about him. And I've seen a lot of guys like that I'm like on stage. I'm like, what the fuck? Like if you listen to the
well, comedy is objective.
Yes, and there's like Larry the Cable Guy. I thought was a funny guy.
Yeah,
Larry the Cable Guy is not going to Harvard and talking to their student section and getting a lot of laughs because they don't understand and relate to him. He go down to the union where the union plumbers are and talk, and them fuckers will eat him up.
Yeah.
But you've got to know your crowd.
You do.
Have you read Kevin Hart's book?
I have not.
Kevin Hart's got a book out. It's been out about 10 years, and it's a biography, and it's really interesting about the struggles he had.
Yeah.
I mean, like, his credit score was like 220. I mean, you get 280 for just signing your name. I mean, it was bad. And I don't know, it was 220, but it was terrible.
Yeah.
He had to use his mother-in-law's American Express is what he would do. He bought he in the book he talks about he bought him an Escalade when they first come out with the black Tahoe Escalades. Said he paid his credit score was so fucking bad on the thing. His payment was like $3,000 a month for $1,400. It was terrible, and he had to put like $20,000 down. He said it was fucking terrible. It didn't matter who I was, and he'd been in his first movie maybe was Snakes on Planes or some shit. And he talked about it. He just gotten a check from them and he put some money down on it. He said, I want to be a badass. So I drove to the blackest barber shop they have in LA, pulled up in there, all big dog and stuff. Yeah. And he said, and I'm fucking got my mother-in-law's co-signing a loan. My loan's so bad. Am I paying $3,000 a month for that? And they're like, damn, mother, it's a badass ride. You making all that money. Hell yeah, I am now. He said, fuck, I was broke until he hit it really big. He was broke. Everything he'd get was just to pay off everything. But he talks about going to a comedy club in New York City, and I think he lived in Washington, D.C., and he would ride the train to New York because it was cheaper than getting a hotel in New York and go back and forth, or Philly, wherever he lived at. But he talked a lot about that and the struggles. Yeah. And he said there was a gang that would come in there, and if you said something to piss the head guy off, they might kill your ass. And he was that nervous about it. He was talking about how,
Damn.
But all his comedy would go through that one guy to make sure that one guy thought he was pretty funny, and then it would be okay. But he struggled for a long time before he made it.
Oh man, I mean, and people don't realize you're an overnight success that grinded for 12 years.
Right. Yeah.
It's like very few comedians make it out of the grind process in 10 years. Like it's usually like you got to have, and I think that's because you like there's so many funny comedians that I know. Like one of my best friends, Matt Boyd, is the funniest guy I've ever met. Just situationally, in every situation, there's not a situation where he's not funny, and he doesn't try. It's not like he's trying hard. He just is funny. He's got funny figured out. But he doesn't like the road.
Really?
Hates it. Like just going out, like that process of getting hotel rooms and meeting people and all of that stuff. He does not like it. So it's like, what do you do if it's so frustrating. He's that funny, but he won't fucking
go out and do it.
He won't go out and do it. And it's like, it's just not what he wants to do. And so he's a writer now, but
can you make a lot of money like writing jokes for other people?
No, not anymore. Like that kind of like people used to buy jokes, comedians used to buy jokes off other comedians, like maybe 80s and 90s. But authenticity is become the new currency in comedy. It's like you gotta write your own stuff.
Yeah,
and if somebody finds out, if like people find out that you're paying somebody else to write your jokes, it's over. Like your career is done.
Because Rogan, he like ended Mencia's career. Like, and he's like, dude, you're fucking ripping off all these people. And
because if you start paying, like, say you want to get back into comedy, or you want to go on the road, doing comedy, but you're like, I got 6 months of the year, I got to do this thing. Just write me some jokes so I can work those jokes out and then give them to you. And then you start hitting the road with them when that 6 months when you're off. And people find out that that's the case. Like they'll probably turn on you, but it also creates a culture of that being okay. Mm-hmm. And so you might pay me the first time, but then eventually you go, well, why am I paying this guy? Why don't I just go to the open mic and listen and then just use some of that shit? Those guys will never use it. They're losers.
Right.
In your head, that just creates that mentality. And then that just folds over and makes people mean and bitter. Because now all those comedians, now they can blame you for their career not working. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Instead of, because they were just going to be losers and nobodies the rest of their lives anyway, because they didn't have the work ethic or whatever it is. But since you stole that one joke and it worked on stage for you one time, they go, that was my big break. And he stole it from me.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's like everything else. You got to work and put it into it. I don't give a shit what you do. If you're in this kind of industry at all, and I'm talking entertainment, in this podcast, we're in the entertainment business, but we're consistent at it, and we've been grinding away for a long time. Yeah. And I think so many people forget about that. I think comedians the same way. You got to get on the road and work a lot, and they're hardworking. And like you said, none of them get an overnight break. You might get your break overnight, but you've had to work a long time to get it. Lavelle the comic.
Oh, I love Lavelle.
I think he's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who he was until about 18 months ago. Stumbled on him and so I thought, here's this up and coming guy. I'm gonna shout out to him, maybe get him to come on a podcast.
And he's done, right?
He's huge. He's got a big. He's not working no more.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything from Lavelle, and
he's
like
big.
He's
big right now.
Big.
Got that fucked up looking head.
Yeah, I know Lavelle.
Yeah, he was on.
He did that.
He was
mama's.
When he talks about his mama, and he said, "Your mama's so nasty," and she said, "Buddy, your mama's so nasty. She sucked your daddy off and then come in and give you a good night kiss."
yeah.
He's fucking great. Anyways, he was on Shannon Sharp's podcast the other day, and he was talking about with Steve Harvey and stuff. So he's broke in, but he's made himself a long way to get there.
Yeah,
worked his ass off to get to where he is. But I think he's very funny. I like Cat Williams. I think Cat Williams is fucking funny as shit.
I mean, arguably some of the best specials.
I think Cat Williams is a lot better than Kevin Hart.
Pimp Chronicles, yeah.
I mean, so much better than Kevin Hart. I used to like Chris Rock a little bit, but Chris Rock was never Eddie Murphy.
No.
Eddie Murphy was great. Richard Pryor was great.
Yeah.
But I like the old Buddy Hackett's.
Yeah.
Do you know who Buddy Hackett is?
I do not.
Buddy Hackett used to be on the Tonight Show all the time. He was funny. Jonathan Winters. Okay. Don Rickles.
Oh, Don Rickles is.
I mean, he ripped into your fucking ass.
The GOAT.
Yeah. Great guy. And someone I did not like that I saw in person that I thought was really funny, but I didn't like him because he makes fun of Jesus, was George Carlin.
Oh,
but George Carlin is a very, very interesting guy.
Yeah.
And George Carlin, other than his stuff on religion,
a Houston guy.
He's pretty fucking what he talked about with the government and shit. Motherfucker's way ahead of his time on shit. He's kind of like the Alex Jones.
And he didn't care.
No.
I mean, if it was going to ruin his career, it was going to ruin it. He used to walk theaters. He's like there's a thing like walking a crowd. Like you just say so much shit and you don't care, and then people walk out. If it happens in like a 200-seat comedy club, that's pretty. I mean, that'll happen. You know, sometimes you have a bad night. He was known for walking theaters. Like his agent would be like, "You can't walk. You. This is a theater. There's 1,500 people here. You cannot walk them." And then he goes, "Well, that's what I'm doing."
Just to say the most outlandish shit.
Yeah, I mean, just going in there, starting the show, going, "I'm gonna walk everybody."
No,
I'm gonna do it until every single person leaves. I'm gonna find out what that thing is that's gonna piss people off, and I'm gonna make them. That's just a wild thing to do.
We were in Vegas and
they pay money to see you.
Yeah, and he come out, and one of the first things he says, "There's not a Jesus. There's not a God."
Yeah. He's trying to walk them.
He's trying to walk them.
Well, then looking back, now he might have been. He goes, "I can prove it to you." Yeah. He goes, "If there's a God, strike me dead right now." See, didn't happen, and that's what he said. I was like,
that's a bold move.
Yeah, about 15 people walk out there.
I wanted to.
Jeff said if he wasn't on the front row, he'd have walked out.
I got it. That fat motherfucker right there, that good looking woman. Right? Is she a prostitute? I didn't want him doing that shit to me.
Yeah,
so I was like, fuck that shit. I'm gonna sit right here and listen to this shit. And a lot of things he talked about I really liked, but I just that part. Rodney Carrington I saw, and he was drunk in Vegas, and I was not impressed at all. And he's a funny guy.
I grew up watching him. I got his tape. Laugh You Bastards on VHS. My dad got it for Christmas, and I stole it and watched it. Probably, I mean, in no joke, probably watched it 1,000 times. I mean, just over and over and over, and just being like him and Ron White growing up for me.
Ron was
Just the best.
Did you ever know who Jay Hickman was?
Uh-uh.
He was an old comedian from East Texas back in the 70s and 80s. I'm sure he's long gone now, but he was pretty funny, but he was way ahead of his time. He was a very vile Larry the Cable Guy.
Okay.
But
Larry's pretty clean.
yeah, he's really clean.
Yeah, he'll
But-
talk about throwing rocks at whores.
Yeah, but he's a clean comedian. Jeff Foxworthy, same way. This guy wasn't clean, but he was pretty funny. But he'd same lines like today with today's social media, Jay Hickman would have been a big star.
Yeah.
But it was before the time of he had to have underground tapes and nobody wanted to sign you if you did this. And I mean, look at Red
He had to
Fox.
play the game.
Nobody wanted to sign Red Fox because of all he was so rank for the time. But he was great.
Great. I mean, there's the him interviewing Muhammad Ali has got to be one of the funniest interviews I've ever seen.
I've never seen that. I'll have to check that
You'll
out.
have to check it out. It's so funny. They're just you can just tell the like authenticity or the realness of it, where he just brought him on. He's talking with him, and just giving him shit, and they're just going back and forth with each other. It's so funny. Red Fox is the best.
I love Red Fox. Who do you think's the greatest comedian of all time?
Man, I go right now. Get me caught up saying some shit. The greatest comedian of all time,
In your opinion,
in
because
my
it's
opinion. It is an opinion based, and and I will say this changes for me constantly, because I have different opinions. But just pure funny, and the not give a fuck factor. Man, Patrice O'Neal.
What about you, Andy?
Dave Chappelle.
Ooh,
I'm gonna go Bernie Mac.
Really?
That's my favorite of all time. He was funny. Goddamn, he made. And Bernie Mac and Cedric the Entertainer are probably my two favorite comedies.
Wow.
Comedians.
See, but they said if you listen to the Cat Williams interview with Shannon Sharp, Cedric the Entertainer just basically plagiarized everything.
Is he a sellout?
Well, he just stole everything.
I liked him. He was funny. I liked him in Roscoe Jenkins, which is one of my favorite movies ever. Welcome Home, Roscoe. You ever seen that? It's a great fucking movie. Him, Martin Lawrence, him. There's a lot. Mike Epps is in it. It's funny.
yeah.
But my favorite comedian, I think, is probably Bernie Mac.
Have you ever seen his? I'm sure you have the Kings of Comedy.
Kings of Comedy.
Yes, it's a great deal.
Well,
Steve-
everybody was the one where everybody's bombing. I think they're in Atlanta, and full black crowd. And Atlanta, they're known for, like, if you're not funny, they'll start shaking their keys at you.
No shit.
Yeah, and that's a
They did it to Bernie
rough
Mac.
thing. No, they were doing it to everybody. It was Chris Rock. I can't remember that lineup, but it was 4 or 5.
Was Steve Harvey one of them?
Steve Harvey's on there.
D.L. Hughley.
Maybe
I don't think he's very funny. He was
not
one
on-
of them.
Was he not?
Was he
on
one
that?
of 'em?
In the movie, it's Steve Harvey, Cedric, D.L. Hughley, and Bernie Mac.
Yep.
Are the 4 in the movie.
Yeah.
And D.L.
They're-
Hughley was the worst of the 3 of those.
Yeah, so 3 or 4 of them go on stage, and the crowd is just, I mean, booing them off stage, not giving them anything. And then Bernie Mac goes out there and goes, "I ain't scared of you, motherfuckers."
Yeah, he's great. When he
Just
talks
staring
about
them
kids,
down.
no
Yeah.
fucking eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved him.
God, that show was so good. I can't remember what he died from, but that was so sad.
I think he
So
died of
sad.
cancer, didn't he?
No, I think it was sudden. Actually, I think it was like a heart attack or fucking embolism or
He
And like in his 50s,
Yeah,
too.
he was a
wasn't
funny-
out that
young
old.
guy.
he was a funny sumbitch though.
Yeah.
I love Bernie Mac.
Complications from pneumonia.
Oh, God.
Killed one of the fucking greats.
Yes, he was a funny guy, but he's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
And I like the old guys. I like Buddy Hackett a lot. I like Don Rickles a lot. I
Rickles.
like the old comedies too. But
And I loved going back on YouTube now and just going back and listening to those old interviews, and as they just didn't give a shit. They thought that TV was never going to make it. I remember Don Rickles talking about this, where he was like, "Live comedy is going to be, I mean, that's it. Why would you even?" So they would say shit that they were like, "Nobody's going to see this."
Right.
And if people are, it's not going to. They didn't think about it staying out there forever.
I don't think they worried because they didn't care because society wasn't that way. Everybody wasn't sensitive.
Yeah.
Like and there was segregation in the world. And I'm not talking about busing in schools and shit. I'm talking about neighborhoods. If you went to a big city, there was an Irish neighborhood. There was an Italian neighborhood. There was a neighborhood where the blacks lived. There was a neighborhood where the Mexicans lived. Chinese, and so people from other venues would make fun of those other groups, and those people over there would make fun of them, but nobody got their fucking feelings hurt.
Yeah.
And now everybody
It wasn't even in the concept of getting your feelings hurt. Because if you
No.
get your feelings hurt, what does it do?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does nothing for you. It does nothing for the other person. It's like, why?
Yeah, people just no sense of humor at all. And so that's why I think they could say shit and get by with it a lot more. Do you know who Jerry Clower is?
Yes, I know who Jerry Clower
Jerry
is.
Clower is one of the greatest also.
Yeah.
And Andy and them didn't even know who he was until just recently. We listened to some clips. I wanted him to listen to it. I like him.
Coon hunting story.
Oh, he's fucking great. And a guy.
Shoot him.
Yeah. We both need some, one of us needs some relief.
Yeah, shoot up in between stuff. Somebody needs some relief.
John, climb him up, John. Yeah.
My grandpa had had a record of his. That's where I heard that for the first time.
I listen to it on I listen to it in my truck sometimes. I'll be driving and I'll listen to Jerry Clower for an hour.
Yeah.
And I like his stories, but never ever uses a cuss word at all. Never cusses in none of his stuff.
Huh.
Very clean, big time religious guy, believed in God and talked about it a lot on stage. A lot of guys, but he was a fertilizer salesman
A fertilizer
for a chemical company. I think the Mississippi or Louisiana fertilizer company, and he was in Lubbock, Texas.
Yeah.
And he would go and sell to these farmers. Well, he would get them, they'd tell jokes for 30, 40 minutes. He'd have a big get together, and all he'd do was tell stories. And a guy videotaped him. He said, "Hey, do you mind if I make a VHS tape of this? I do what you want to do." And that's when RCA or one of them Capitol Records, one of them signed him.
Damn.
That's how he got his big break. Was one of those guys, and asked him, he said, "Yeah, I don't care."
And was he doing? He was doing sets at comedy clubs. He was just
doing stories. He would go and sell in, like they'd say, "We're going to have at Lubbock. We're going to feed steaks today, and this fertilizer company is going to come here and talk about their new fertilizer they got for cotton."
Yeah.
So all these farmers and everybody'd come there, and it started out him probably telling a group of 2 or 3 people stories and be like, "Yeah, tell them stories," and it turned into the whole deal. So when they'd have these luncheons, he'd get up and talk and sell them shit, but he would tell stories. Same stories he got famous telling. He would just tell stories. He was a good storyteller. Huh? And he was an interesting guy. He played football.
Louisiana, the Cajuns, like that's where I fell in love with comedy.
Never played in a college football game. I never seen a football game until he played in his first college game. I think he grew up Ament Corner, Mississippi, Route 7, Liberty, Mississippi, or whatever he says all the time.
Yeah.
But he was went to Mississippi State, and he got a college scholarship playing football. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And was All-American, I think, even there.
And I mean, growing up wrestling cows and hogs and rooting up, I mean, you get inner strength there that you can't get.
He was
lifting weights.
Grew up poor, just farming and hunting coons, and
They had a rat killing.
Yep, rat killing was a word he used a lot too. But just a regular good dude. But he was funny.
Yeah.
But
some people just have that. There's an aspect of that. You see comedians get on, and I mean, I feel like this was a little bit like this for me. But I mean, just from the jump, you can have just like natural talent. Like you get up there, you're funny. Everybody wants to laugh at you. Like they see you and aesthetically you look funny, you aesthetically talk funny. But it's all of the other crap that you need. You know, that you can't just have that one thing. But if you have it, you have it. You know,
what's crazy?
You can learn it, but if you have it, you have it.
And then you go to a comedy club and you see a motherfucker that's not funny that thinks he's funny.
Yeah,
we get
well, fake it till you make it is in any industry, and comedy, none less.
It blends out pretty fast though if you can't talk. Yeah, we'll have 1 or 2 people a year will message us about they're going to start their own podcast, and one of the things I noticed a lot of guys, I'm a real funny guy.
Oh, that's what they say?
All the time. And I'm thinking, usually most people that say that are not that funny.
Got a lot of good stories.
Yeah. I'm sure
we had a guy call us and he was like, "Man, I'll be on the podcast. I got lots of good stories. I hunt in this area." And I thought, "Yeah, we got him on here." Fuck's like pulling fucking teeth. Where's these good stories at?
Yeah.
I want to hear something. Tell me a story. I love stories. That's why I like talking to old people. Old people are storytellers because they didn't have phones and shit.
Damn entertainment. That's how they got it done. You either were reading or you were telling stories.
So, have you ever ever offended anybody on stage where they really said something to you?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Let's see. What would have been the last one? A couple weeks ago. I used to have this joke about pronouns where I'd say I messed up this girl's pronoun. And she turned around to me and she dropped her wallet, her pocketbook, and went and picked it up. And I said, Miss, you dropped your pocketbook. And she turned around to me and she said, "Did you just assume my pronouns?" And I looked her back in the eyes and I said, "Did you just assume that I know what pronouns are?" And I said, and besides that, like country folks, we've been using gender neutral pronouns, like y'all.
Y'all.
Made up the word y'all. Your mom and them, those people, your kind, like we've been saying that shit forever.
Those people.
Yeah. And I said those people and coon ass. I said coon ass.
Yeah.
I say that word all the time.
And I don't know if this is just like I think it's just Louisiana, maybe South Texas, East Texas. I don't know where people use it, but they don't use it in Austin. And I had one lady openly gasp during a show. And then I stopped. I was like, what's your problem? I was like, are you good? And she was like, you can't say that. And I was like, can't say it. I'm one of them.
Right.
I was like, I'm a coon ass. And she was like, again. And I was like, all right. Anyway, well, I was talking to this other coon ass, and she just got up and walked to the back, got the manager, and the manager came up, and she said that I said, dirty coon.
Oh, not even close.
I was like, first of all, no.
You're not paying attention, lady.
Yeah. People just hear something.
Okay, I'm
they
still
wanna hear it.
confused. What was she being racist?
I think
it
she
sounds
was.
to me like she was being a little racist and starting to reference coon as something else.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's her, not you.
Exactly.
A coon ass is someone south of I-10 in Louisiana.
Yep.
You got
An
to ask,
Iberian.
yeah. You ask anybody down there if they're offended by the word coon. We went through that problem here.
Yeah.
I say coon ass all the time, and I said something. My dad had pheasant with a guy, and he had a pissy attitude. I said, "Did my dad offend you or something?" Because there's a good chance my dad was going to offend you because he spoke a lot worse than I did, but the truth usually. And he goes, "No, you did." I go, "What did I say?" You said coon ass. I said, "Yeah, their band there's a coon ass." I find that word very offensive, and I'm from down there. I don't use that word. I find it offensive. Wrote a check, and walked out the door. So I asked another guy that was here that's a coon ass. I goes, "I want to ask you a question. Come in here." I said, "Hey, I say coon ass all the time. Is that offensive to you?" He goes, "Why'd I be offended by being called a coon ass? I am a coon ass."
Yeah.
He said, and I told him, he goes, "That guy ain't a fucking coon ass." He goes, "Any real coon ass appreciates being called a coon ass."
Yeah.
It's kind of a badge of honor.
Badge of honor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
you're
she was
damn
being a
right,
racist.
coon ass.
Well, I'd have flipped that on her
What'd
ass
the
real
manager
fast.
say?
The manager came up there and waited till I got off stage and then came in and goes, "Now, just tell me what your side of the story is." And I was like, I said coon ass. She got upset. And then she was like, "Can you say that?" And I was like, "Yeah, have you never?" I had to pull it up on my phone. I go, "That's what a coon
Urban
ass
Dictionary.
is." Yeah, look at that. That's me. that's my people. We're allowed to do it.
I did. Fucking Austin, Texas, bunch of wackos anyways.
But now, like, that's like the comedy capital of America. It's becoming.
It's becoming. It's
And
New
you
York,
were there
L.A.
before you were cutting your teeth down there before the big boom.
2018. Yeah.
And it all happened after COVID, didn't it? Like basically Rogan brought it.
Yep.
With all that.
With
all
all
his stuff.
Rogan. I mean, everybody followed Rogan, and which is great because the comedy fans are there now. But I mean, and it was way worse pre-pandemic. I mean, I probably offended more people prior, just saying stuff and messing up prior to that. But also, like, I mean, you offend people, and I mean, it's just they're gonna have to get over it. And like, cancel me or don't.
Yeah.
You know, go for it or don't.
The transgender shit is what shocks me.
Yeah.
Because they make up less than 1% of the population. Mm-hmm. You know, me and Michelle were in Stowe, Vermont, and there was a church that had Black Lives Matter, Black Transgender Lives Matter. I come home and did the math. There's 19 of them in the fucking world. So fucking who cares if you fucking offend them? You know, there's only 19 of them. But
it's a bandwagon that people can get
Yes,
behind,
and
and it's a new one. And I think it's almost over.
I
honestly.
do too. I think people had to pick a side, like because they were afraid they were going to get canceled, and like big corporations at the end of the day they're beholden to their stockholders, and if they don't fucking play the game right, then their stock's going to go down, and then they get booted. So everybody had to pick a side. But I'm like you, I think it's over with. We just left the Northeast, and like there were no Black Lives Matter signs up there. I guess I don't know.
we didn't see you saw very liberal shit there. There was like much fanfare on it.
Yeah.
Went in a gas station, got gas or something, and walked in, and there was long hair and lipstick, and I said, "Hey, ladies," something like that. And,
Yeah.
"Hello, can I help you?" I'm like, "What the?" I said, "I'm sorry." Fuck, what do you say?
My bad.
Yeah. My bad.
Okay, you're wearing lipstick and you got on high heels. Don't get offended when someone thinks you're a woman. 'Cause you're damn
Yeah.
sure dressing like one.
And then how did did they keep being offended when you were like, "Oh, my bad"?
I don't even remember. I told y'all what happened.
You went in for like water or something.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Hey, ladies, where do you keep your water?"
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a lady.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Sorry. I just saw you from the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had ladylike features, so I figured
38
that
double D's. I thought you was a chick. You know, like, fuck. But I don't.
you just got to go with y'all.
Yeah.
Hey y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
y'all.
why it's gender neutral.
That's right. Hey y'all.
We were in Rochester, New York, and my granddaughter's with us. We stopped there. We was at the airport. Went to Dunkin' Donuts, and Dylan goes, "Judge." I go, "What?" She goes, is that a boy or a girl? I looked up. I said, I think that's just an ugly woman. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not doing a cup check on him.
Yeah.
But I think it's an ugly woman is what it is. But I don't.
Not doing a cup check on him.
Yeah. I just
I'm
don't.
gonna fondle the fella.
But I don't understand
Lady.
these. I don't understand people today that accept this shit or not accept it. I don't care if you wear a fucking dress.
Yeah.
But don't expect to get any kind of special attention because you're going to get a lot of attention. Because let me tell you something. When I was younger, I would have given you a lot of fucking attention because I'd have made fun of your ass out loud and in front of you. And maybe that's what we need is more assholes to fucking do this shit. And these people are like, whoa, hold on. I'm not wearing high heels to work no more.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I think that's when it became like when people stopped doing that, or that stopped being the norm, is when people would allow that to like affect your job, affect the way that you make money. You know, like that's it. That's huge.
If you
Somebody
took,
comes after you,
if you could take 100 kids, today's world,
I'd kick them.
well, smart ass 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, and you made them go back to 1970 and pull some of that flipping people off and fucking talking shit to them and stuff. And the first time one of them old men that had just got out of Korean or Vietnam War or World War II still, because those guys at World War II were 50 years old at that time, and they grab you and punch you between the fucking eyeballs twice, you'll quit doing that shit.
Yeah.
And that's our problem. We don't have enough ass whoopings in this world anymore. We need to fucker that road rage shit. Somebody pull you out of a car, beat the fuck out of you, and go down. I am not a Robert Duvall fan at all. And he's in a movie called Paper Lines, I think is what it's called, Secondhand Lines.
Oh, that's such a good scene.
And those kids come in there being smart asses.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we need. More old men like him that are going to whip your fucking ass.
What did they tell him?
Step
Like,
out of line.
you're going to need, oh, fuck, that is such a great.
But
just that 3 minutes of that scene.
that was the world I grew up in, though, because an old man like that would whip your ass. You know, an old tough man like that ain't got two shits to give.
Yeah.
That man had fought in World War II or Korea or whatever. Even the guys coming back from Afghanistan and shit. You go into a bar and some motherfucker's gonna whip your ass and you've been got shot at by the Taliban for 3 months straight. You ain't scared about that fucker. Now you got to worry about the fucker pulling a gun or a knife. Back then, people didn't do that stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hub McCain. I fought in 2 world wars and countless smaller ones on 3 continents. I led thousands of men into battle with everything from horses and swords to artillery and tanks. I've seen the headwaters of the Nile and tribes of natives no white man had ever seen before. I've won and lost a dozen fortunes, killed many men, and loved only one woman with a passion, a flea like you could never begin to understand. That's who I am.
Just fucking snatched his
dude.
ass up.
And you know what?
You throat grab. That's such a. I mean, now, and it's unfortunate now that there's so many people that like just know.
It's not going to show it. I was going to try to see the end because his buddy was like, because I think
Do
they
you
pull
need a- do
I think
you-
they pull knives and shit.
Do you need some help?
I don't.
I got these pussies or
I got
something.
them. Yeah.
But those in real life, if that happens and there's 3 kids there being punks, bullies and shit, all 3 of those guys did not do that shit ever again in real life. They
And
scared the
after
shit
that-
out of them. After that, they would never do nothing again. They'd be respectful and remember that. That was a lesson learned.
Yeah. And after he kicked their ass, he took them back to the house, gave them some steaks to put on their heads, and talked with them. You know.
But kids today can't handle that because they're too bad and they shoot. I bet you right now, if I pulled up Smash the Topic, which is a black guy in Dallas, Texas, on Facebook, and I follow him, and he said, and he has anything posted from last night, I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna bet you there was a shooting last night in Dallas.
Oh, I've been around 4 of them in Austin.
Oh, really?
Within like 100 yards, there's a shooting.
On
If it's
6th
not
Street?
every weekend, yeah, West 6, dirty. It's bad, and it's like, yeah. I mean, there's. I don't think we should have stricter gun laws, but I think the culture of if you pull a gun on somebody, somebody can pull a gun on you. But if you fight, you'll just. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna hurt.
You're gonna get your ass. There's gonna be a winner and a loser, but you're gonna walk away.
You're gonna probably walk away.
Yep, 2 people shot on PV Road last night in Dallas, but it's every freaking night, and I look at it every day. It's that thing, and a majority of them are these kids 16 to 25 years old.
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit, no excuses. I don't give a fuck what color you are. If your parents have a lot of money, if your mom was a prostitute or she's a senator, which is the same thing,
Yeah.
don't really care.
They're both
But
whores.
don't blame society. It's your kids you're raising. They're doing this shit. They have zero respect for life. None. They don't care. Shot and killed a guy that's got 3 kids. Oh, fuck him, motherfucker. He looked at me funny. It's just crazy.
Yeah. You think it's social media
I think it's
turning
all.
kids?
I think it's everything. I think it's a lack of people going to church. I think it's a lack of people having the dad. The biggest problem we have, well, church would be number one. Second biggest problem we have in this country is no dads.
Fatherless.
Very few dads. You go to a little league baseball game, and there can be 12 kids playing on a team, and there's 3 sets of parents at the game, and there's one dad just about. Not all are that way.
Yeah.
Now, here's what's going to be. This is what society does not want to admit. You go to that same upper middle class neighborhood, and you got 12 kids playing, and you've got 10 or 11 sets of moms and dads there. I don't care what you want to say. You can blame it on whatever you want. That's the truth.
Yeah.
The more you go to the nicer neighborhoods, now mama might be a whore and screwing the tennis coach. I don't know.
Yeah.
But those mom and dads that are raising those kids right there have got a head start in life.
Yeah.
A big time head start in life. And that doesn't mean they won't be turned out to be punks.
Yeah.
But when you go to those neighborhoods, you see more moms and dads at stuff. You go to the poor side of town, you see less dads and moms. So I think I think the lack of dads in society has got
Father
the biggest problem in the world. We got too many big mamas raising kids, and they shouldn't do that. You go to the projects, and you're going to see very few dads.
Yeah.
And that's so I think dads are our biggest problem in society, the lack of dads. What do you think, Andy? You coach kid baseball and stuff. Do you see that? And you're lucky because you've got kids, you've got parents. We're not bad in a small town, but we don't have it like we did when you were a kid.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you just look at it. Yeah. Fatherlessness is a big thing. And it's just, we've attacked the nuclear family quite a bit, and we've subsidized single motherhood as a country. There's so many handout programs for single moms, and there should be, because there's a lot of moms that working 2 jobs, catching 3 buses, and they need help. But a lot of people abuse that too. So
I'm also lost by people that I hear people say a lot of times that are married. I know a lot of good young married couples, and I'll say something about kids. Oh, we're working to save money to get kids. You're never going to be able to afford kids.
Yeah.
So if you have them today, or if you wait for 20 years, you ain't gonna be able to afford them. Little fuckers are expensive. Yeah. Most expensive pets in the world are kids. Fucking bottom line.
Yeah.
But if you love your wife and y'all have a good family and stuff, we need more people like you to have children. Mm-hmm. But what floors me is the people that can't afford to have kids, that have 4 and 5 of them little fuckers. And then they're stressed out. Goddamn little fuckers. Well, quit fucking having sex unprotected. If you want to bang 26 people in a day, I don't care. But put a condom on or take a pill or something. And don't bitch so much about your kids if you're going to keep having more and more of them.
If you keep popping them out.
And I see that all the time.
That's the thing. You get some food stamps if you have 1 kid.
Right.
You got 3 kids, they're giving you a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
But you still can't afford the little fuckers.
Yeah.
Fucking feeding them is not the most expensive part of them. That's the cheapest part, and that's getting fucking expensive.
my wife calls our kids, they're our broke friends. What they are.
Boy, that is a
broke buddies.
great term
broke
for them.
buddies that we can't get rid of.
You know what your problem with your boys are? They don't know they're broke.
No, that's exactly right. I don't understand the movement to cancel comedians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you guys should get a free pass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because you're out, because that's the comedian's job, is to kind of toe that line.
If you want to
and see where it is.
If you want to hurt a comedian, just don't laugh.
Right.
Stare at them. If you really want to hurt them, because if you're trying to cancel somebody, that's just going to help me. That's just going to make my career. It's going to bring attention to me.
Yeah.
And then for that joke, it might not be great for anybody. Some people are probably going to really like it, and then that's going to push my career further.
Yeah.
If you
people
go,
like the polarization.
I love it. I love it. You mind if I have one?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just 3.
Oh yeah.
So you can take 2 if you need it.
No, I'm good. Yeah, that's the like when people are like, "Oh, are you worried about getting canceled?" I go, "No, because I'm confident at this point in my career. I'm confident in my stuff, and I just need the more pops I can get, the better."
Right.
And so, and I also don't say anything I don't mean.
Mm-hmm.
And if I say something I don't mean, and somebody calls me out for it, I can address it and go, I'm okay with saying, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, I was probably wrong. I probably said that. I didn't mean it.
Right.
And I was just trying to be funny. I'm just trying to be funny." And yeah, if they cancel me, then that just drives more people to my channel. That drives like, "Oh, okay, well, why are they canceling this guy?" And then they're gonna look at all of the funny stuff I have and go, "Well, this guy's actually pretty cool."
Right.
And I'm gonna listen to him. So I don't think it's that big a deal. But I do think people that are trying to, like, just that cancel culture, they're trying to get famous off some other bullshit. off whatever I'm doing.
Right. They're trying to get famous by being outraged that you made this off-color joke.
Whatever.
And that's their time.
Yeah, and that's their time to shine.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't have to work at all for
Right.
it. And
Yeah.
they just see an easy way to get some attention
By being outraged.
by being outraged. And it's like, I think that pendulum is going to shift the other way.
100%.
And
I think it already is.
yeah, it's been shifting. It's been swinging. The pandemic's really helped that.
So when did you get that confidence? Like you said now, like you feel confident in your career that you can kind of, you can say these things. Like, was there a moment in your career where you're like, okay, I'm starting to feel more comfortable and I feel like I have more freedom on stage?
Yeah. I would say probably like probably about a year and a half ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because it's like you get moments of like confidence and then you get humbled. And then
By bombing?
Yeah, by bombing or which still happens. Like I still a lot of comedians. I don't know if people are honest about it or not, but everybody bombs. And you get the more cocky you get. There's times where I go, I'll be crushing at one place in Austin. There's 8 comedy clubs, so in a night you can do, if you really push hard, you can do like 6 sets. If you're doing like 10 minutes. So you just go to this club, and then line it up right. Like this Friday I got 4 shows, and then Saturday I got 3 there in Austin. And a lot of times you'll go and I'll start out the night humble. I've got to work on this stuff, and then it goes really well. And then the second show, I'm like, all right, that might have been a fluke. Like, and I try to keep my head, my ego low, and then you do well. And then the third show, you go in there and you're like, you get a little bit cockier and
a little
swagger on stage, and it's going well. And then the last show, and this really sucks, and it happens to me all the time, where the first 3 go so good, and then I walk on stage with too much swagger, and I'm confident as hell. And then that first joke hits, or that first joke, I do it and to nothing, because the people are like, "Who is this asshole?"
Right.
Yeah. And if you're putting confidence out, that can be received in a different way. They go like, "Oh, who's this asshole?" Right. And then if you let it affect you, that's what I call a bomb. Like if you let it affect you, like just telling a bad joke, I can comprehend that I can tell a bad joke.
Yeah.
And that I'll fuck something up. And then, but it's the letting it affect you. It's letting the people that you're talking to, like it's letting the crowd, once they smell that fear. People love seeing a train wreck just as much as they love seeing, just as much as they love laughing.
And they got that crowd mentality on their side.
Yeah. They got that pack mentality.
Yeah,
Once they all go, they want blood. And that's why I say, if you want to cancel somebody, like, I mean, whatever. It's not really going to hurt a comedian. It's going to even give us a little bit more drive.
Right.
But if you want to really fuck us up, just go to the front row and just stare at us. Don't laugh, don't do anything, and just stare. And that'll eat your heart out.
Do you think some of that could have to do, like you said, the fourth show is like the one where you bomb. Do you think some of that could be the amount of alcohol people have had? Because we recently filmed some stuff for one of our company's boss, and we did like a man on the street in Nashville, just asking people questions and stuff. And 11 o'clock at night was like the witching hour. People were happy before that and kind of joking with us. 11 o'clock at night rolled around and they got fucking mean.
Yeah.
And women were the worst.
Women are the worst when they start getting 4 or 5 margaritas.
I can remember, like, because Jeff was
want a problem.
Jeff was spearheading it, and like he would ask these people questions and everything. And at first we were out there for a couple hours, and like it was kind of light and joking. And like I looked down at my watch and I was like, we need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
People are getting nasty.
Yeah.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Just a basic fucking question, and they got, but like, it was like something happened at 11 o'clock, and
Drinking.
that fucking crowd turned.
That alcohol changed them, boy, and they got mean. And it was just a whole different. It was just like a whole different vibe happened.
Yeah.
What happens with? You said that. I'm trying to think how I'm going to word this. It's almost impossible for someone to just come on the stage as a comedian.
Yeah.
And be a success just a big time success, overnight success. I think if we had more guys that would just do regular comedy, it's going to catch on again. I really believe it's going to change. I think people are going to loosen up and wake up. And so a regular redneck type guy has got a big crowd to play to. But you just got to get in front of the right people.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Like, it shouldn't matter what crowd you have. You shouldn't you should be able to go to Atlanta, Georgia, New York City, or Austin, Texas. And honestly, like I have a problem. I was in Columbus, right outside of Houston, and I just did 3 shows in Houston Friday night. Everything went great. And then I go to Columbus, and the crowd's a little older, and so I'm like, oh, I got to change my stories up. I was gonna tell like maybe some hunting stories, maybe some ranch stories, cowboying stories, and then I was like, you know what? If I'm confident in these jokes, they ought to work with everybody, and they don't.
No,
And they don't.
back to Larry the Cable Guy. Larry the Cable Guy's not going to Harlem and being a hit.
Yeah.
And you're not going to bring.
But that's the desire as a comedian. It's
Right.
like I should
For
be able to
everything
make
to work.
anybody
Yeah,
laugh.
but I don't think. I think it's been that way always. I think even back, if you went back to the time of prime comedy, which would probably been 65 to about 80, probably in those time frames, I think those guys did the same thing. They played in Vegas. That was the deal. You either played in Vegas or you were on the tour and went somewhere else. But all the big guys wanted to be in Vegas all the time.
Yeah.
Well, Vegas was what?
residency.
Vegas back then was middle class white people.
Yeah.
Was 90% of the people coming through the doors. That was the same. You could pull up a video right now of a Vegas comedy club in 1975, and that's going to be the crowd. All are white people. You know, there might be a few people of color there, but most everybody was white middle class people. Well, that was the same kind of person that was in Vegas every day. So those people paid to the same clients every day. If they went on Johnny Carson, guess who was watching Johnny Carson? White middle class people. And that's what it is. Nowadays, it's more diverse.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. I think some things don't resonate that, you know, I think
funny's funny.
yes,
And you should.
And I think black comedians are funnier than white comedians. No offense.
Yeah, well, hey,
but I mean, I like
your
black.
opinion.
I like black. I like black comedy.
me too.
I like black.
Patrice O'Neal is I mean, as black Boston as you can get.
And I like black movies.
Okay.
I love black movies. You watch Coming to America. The first one was great. Coming to America, the second one sucked. But I like, and I've always liked black stuff. Black stuff makes me laugh. An old black barbershop's one of the funniest places in the world to be.
Yeah.
They start making fun of each other and shit. Fucking funny.
Yeah, looking ass.
Yeah, if you don't think that's funny, something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
But people today don't have a lot of sense of humor either.
No, I mean I think it's always like a pendulum. I mean it swings one way or the other. It's where you're getting attention.
Yeah.
You know, they like this or they like that.
They met somebody.
That's Tony's here.
Oh.
He brung something to eat, I think. But you look at Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
I used to find Roseanne Barr disgusting.
Okay.
I used to not be able to stand her. When I worked with some ladies when I was 18 years old. They were all 35 years old, and they loved Roseanne. They loved the show. They loved everything about it. I didn't get it. I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck about having to make meatloaf and not being on a budget and all the shit. Now when I watch Roseanne, I can relate to everything they did because it's a family type, you know, the real family problems that people go through, and I could relate to it.
It's real.
But as I get older, the more and more stuff I listen to Roseanne about, she's a pretty funny lady.
Yeah.
But when she first came out, I didn't like her because I didn't relate to that.
Yeah.
What is the end goal for a comedian now? Because like when Seinfeld, like the show, the end goal was like a sitcom ultimately.
Yeah.
Like what is the pinnacle now that comedians are shooting for?
I mean, I think the top like 3 goals, and it depends on what you want out of life. But there used to be that old be a comedian till you could get on a sitcom or into movies. There is taping that special and traveling across the country, being a road dog. Like to me, that's the dream. I want to be able to have 200 acres, a house, a wife, some kids, and then just be able to travel every Thursday through Sunday, and then be home Sunday through Monday or Sunday through Wednesday, and then the other one is just selling out theaters in a local like a local place, and but yeah, I think that pinnacle is the respect of other comedians, and traveling on the road, like going across the country, going everywhere, and doing stand up.
What kind of money is a comedian going to make? And I know you don't want to talk about all the exact deal. I'm just curious, and everybody else is too. What kind of money are you going to get for going to play a comedy club? How long's your set? 45 minutes?
45 minutes if you're headlining.
Okay, 45-minute set. How much money are you making? $1,500 a night for that?
Depends. So it's a door deal. So everybody gets a door deal, and you work out that with the club depending on who you are and how much leverage you have. But I try to work out an 80-20 door deal. So I get 80% of the door, they get 20% of the door. So let's say going to Nashville, Zanies, you sell, that's a 200-seater. you sell, a Friday and Saturday, two shows both nights, you'll probably walk away with $6 to $8 grand
Wow.
in a weekend.
Goddamn, I need
If you sell it out.
getting on stage again.
Yeah, if you sell it out. But most of the time you'll go like Friday early show will sell out, Friday late show half, you know, and then you get, if you sell out, you get a bonus, you know. But most of the time, like especially early in the career, like I drove 9 hours to Memphis and I got $35
For one night?
for one night, and that is hard to do. That's hard to keep doing. That's where most comedians, they start. You get your average, your home base, and you're getting like, like when I'm doing in town shows, you get the average is $2 a minute. So if you're doing a 10-minute set, you're getting $20, and so that it makes more sense when you're able to do 8 comedy clubs that night, or 6 shows that night, and you're walking away with $150, and that's like a day's labor.
Right.
Like I worked, building fence at 18 and got that much money. A lot of people work at a Dairy Queen for $200, and you got to work an 8-hour shift. And I just did 60 minutes, in 10-minute increments, and got that much money.
See, when the guy asked me if I wanted to go with him to do these shows, and we was going to like 4 or 5 different cities.
Yeah.
He's like, man, you'll make $200 or $300 a night. I'm thinking, time I drive there, and I give me a hotel room, and I eat, I might as well I'm gonna lose $150 a fucking day just trying to fucking. I understand why they call them struggling comedians, because it'd been about 3 weeks of that shit, and I was like, fuck that shit. I just lost $3 grand. Fucking have fun.
I blew last year. I got $6,000-$7,000 in debt just trying to go to these clubs and not selling tickets, and then going out there, and it's like I sell merch too, but if you don't do well that night, nobody buys your merch. Right. I don't get a hotel room. And I got to sleep in my car. And at 30 years old, that is rough.
Yeah, I ain't doing that shit.
Yeah.
Do you know who Steve Mudflap McGrew is?
No, I don't.
He's a comedian, and we saw him and Chad Prather in Dallas.
Chad Prather's got that. He's got his audience dialed in.
Yeah, he did. And I don't. He's another one I don't think's that funny.
I don't think he's that funny either.
But he's been very successful.
Yeah.
But
well, he knows how to market that.
He does a really good job of playing the Texas conservative. He knows his crowd, and he does a good job. I just don't find him that funny in music. Steve Mudflat McGrew, on the other hand, turned out to be a railroad fucking redneck.
Yeah.
He was funny as hell.
Yeah.
But he got canceled over the woke group, and I can't remember what he'd done. But he used to play cruise ships.
That's another place that they say Vegas and cruise ships are where comedians go to die.
Well, he done a good job of it, but he did that for a while, and then he was on the tour. But he was traveling, but he was a headliner, and he was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought he was really, really good.
Yeah.
He looks kind of like Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Okay.
See if he's still alive.
Mudflat McGrew.
I think Steve Mudflat McGrew.
Steve Mudflap
Yeah,
McGrew.
and he looks like
it is a very black thing.
He's a white guy.
Yeah. But having a stage name like
Yeah,
that.
Mudflat McGrew.
Yeah.
But I found him I thought he was fucking hilarious. I really did. I thought, this guy will be somebody one day. Well, he got woke and did something to somebody, because I used to see him on Instagram and shit. I don't see him no more.
Royal Caribbean cruise ships. You can find them going out of New Jersey.
Pull up one of his YouTubes real quick, if they've got one.
Okay. Let me see if I got to go over to YouTube.
But he was a funny guy, and he was with Chad Prather. He was a lot better than Chad was, and he'd played all over.
Yeah.
But so that's
And Chad's clean.
Yeah, what kind of money they make on them cruise ships?
A lot. That's the thing. They pay you a lot, but they make sure that you go in there and they go, you can't say this, you can't say this, and you can't say this. And once you start doing that and you start shaping your comedy to make money, that's not the deal. You lose faith in yourself. You lose faith in what you want to actually tell, and then you're not interesting. I think that's what happened to Chad. I'm sure he was very funny at one point, but he just started letting people tell him what he could and couldn't say.
No, you'd be yourself. If you piss people off, you piss them off. They're gonna get over this shit anyways. Who fucking gives a shit?
Yeah.
Everything on YouTube is like 45 minutes, so it's like all of his shit.
Pull up like just one of his clips and we'll just cut down to about a minute.
I can't find anything. That's what I'm saying. Like
okay,
every
never
video,
mind.
this one's 42:57. This one's 43:01. So
Anyways,
it's like,
he was. I thought he was really funny, but
Yeah.
he played. He had said that he had been on cruise ships and he'd come back, but
And I don't think there's a single comedian that's ever taken that route.
had done anything with his life.
Yeah.
and been like, God, fucking made it.
Yeah. Like you make some money, and that's the problem. Is that I think I'm lucky because I don't have. I mean, I say lucky for now. no wife and kids. And so whatever decisions I make, whatever I say on stage affects me.
Right.
It doesn't affect anybody else.
Yeah.
And so I don't mind doing it, but then I could see where that starts out, and then you have a wife and kids, and you go, well, if I say something bad, they're taking food out of my baby's mouth, and I can't take that risk. And then that starts to really shape who you are as a person.
Have you had a significant other since you've been on the road?
Yeah.
How'd that work?
And it just doesn't work out.
Not good at all.
Yeah. It's not even like even thinking about cheating or any of that. It's like, let's say the last one I probably was my fault, but we dated and everything was going great. I'm on the road doing my stuff. And she's helping me out. Like if I get home, I can't take her out to a nice dinner and she really wants to go, she'd pay for it.
Right.
And I'd be like, I'd fight it. And then I'd be like, you know what, if this is what you want to do, let's go out and do it. I just can't afford it. And then it got to the point where, I mean, honestly, it sounds messed up, but I'm like, I was too happy. And my comedy started to dip.
Right.
And I was like,
because you didn't have that axe to grind anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't like the feeling of it. And we'd only been dating for a year. And I just told her, I was like, hey, look, I think, I don't know if this life is going to be for you, and like
look at that.
Yeah. Just finding that way to get out of it.
It's not you, it's me, baby.
It's not you, it's me, But I honestly, it's like being, and it's like I didn't like the jokes the way that it made my comedy go, because I'm talking about being in a relationship and all that stuff, and so we broke up, and I don't know. I think it's so hard to date a comedian,
Oh yeah,
because we're constantly on the road. You constantly got to give up everything,
Well, and like a part of you would feel like if I was your significant other, like our life is going to be a bit now. You know what I'm saying? Like if we go out and something funny happens, like, well,
that's what I'm talking about on stage.
It's not sacred anymore. It's not just between us. It's a bit that you're going to use.
Yeah.
Coming from the man who shared his wife tumbling down the mountain yesterday.
I did.
So
I'll show
Wait,
you.
what?
I'll show you. It's pretty funny.
For the people, yeah, Andy and we just got back from family vacation, and Andy's fixing to own a ski resort in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
His wife bit the dust big time, and she ripped her ass good.
Yeah.
I mean, she's lucky we didn't have a big emergency and spend a lot of time at the ER.
But it's kind of that way here. Like even like Jeff said, like when shit happens in my life, like I talk about on the podcast.
Yeah, everybody knows. So our life's pretty. We've got a very open book. There ain't an open book family more in our area in North Texas than we are.
But like I could see where that would fuck with your partner. Like, can't this just be between us? You know what I mean? Like, why do you got to turn it into something that you're going to use on stage?
Well, it's because that's how I make my money.
Exactly. So here.
I was taking a ski.
Well, this is a ski lift.
We were at a ski resort. We were at a ski resort in summertime. So anyway, they had these tubes going on, and yeah. So
see the water on the yellow there, where they're squirting water on them.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's wet.
So it's you and her.
That's me and her. And we're racing. So she's ahead of me now, and I'm like, oh, you're gonna fucking beat me. Blah blah blah.
My wife's filming this.
Oh. It's turned over
and she's
backwards.
hurt.
Yeah, broke her toe, but
Broke
anyway,
her toe?
Yes. And big old. Ooh.
Oh, she looks like she's taking it like a champ. She's still laughing.
She didn't know she was hurt yet.
Oh.
Yeah, it was one of those that you're laughing because you're afraid to cry, but yeah, but now we talk about it on the show, so
Yeah.
it's like,
No, I asked.
but she's got a good sense of humor, and anyway,
I asked when we got done. I said, "Well, this won't go, Andy. I don't know if I'll share this or not." So that video go viral. I won't do it because he made fun of her at was it Christmas time?
yeah. So she, what
No, Christmas when you had to carry her in drunk or New Year's Eve.
did do that?
Yeah, and he put that. What did she? She fell off the porch.
Fell off the porch one time. She was walking up and it was like a step up onto our porch. She missed it, and she ate a pillar like right there. And I shared that video because we got the Ring camera, so like nothing's off limits anymore.
Yeah.
And but she walked that one off. Like this one, she's hurt, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to share that. But
she's jacked up. Her knee was swelled up. Her shoulders all black and blue. Her toe, she's got a Sasquatch toe now, and it's all jacked up.
man, that time that I tried to carry her in when she was drunk at New Year's Eve, like I was gonna like carry her, like a macho man, out here, and like she like comes at me, she's all fucking drunk and pawing and kicking and all this other shit, and like somehow like I end up getting her, and like I've got a 3-year-old on me, like she's got me like her legs are here, and like she's just fucking passed out over my shoulder, and I'm like, how the fuck did we even like? What? This is not how I was gonna carry you in here.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you doing this to me? Yeah. She's like fucking. It was like wrestling a grizzly bear, and she just.
So Andy's as bad as a comedian is about sharing his family problems with everyone else. It's funny.
Yeah.
The humorous things are well worth it.
Well worth it.
Yeah.
Well worth it. Make good stories.
So have you had the groupie lady yet that come at you?
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, you call them chuckle fuckers.
Chuckle fuckers.
That's the terminology.
Chuckle fuckers.
But it's like I tell guys because I mean it happens. You know, you make a woman laugh and it's like you see it in their eyes. And I'm like, that's it. You know, but if you start to shape your comedy in order to get laid, it's a slippery slope. It's a very slippery slope. You'll fall into it.
There are a lot of miserable, bitter people in the world.
Yeah.
And I found out most of them are big bulldog lesbians.
Okay.
Every one of them are pissed off. Have you ever met one that was happy?
Yeah, I've met a few. I met
no shit.
Yeah.
Usually they're pissed off.
Maybe it's because it's just Austin. But I had that. I'd met a lot of lesbians. I don't know, going through.
No, I'm talking about the bulldog lesbian.
Yeah. See, those specifically are like, and I met a lot of mechanics. I worked for Porsche for a few years on 2 different Porsche teams, and driving 18-wheelers for them. And there's a lot of bulldog lesbians that work as mechanics. And in my opinion, and maybe it's just the 10 or 15 that I met, but they had some of the best senses of humor. They were because they're working around men.
Yeah, that maybe has a lot to do with it. But the one that hates men,
oh,
them fuckers, they're all fucking bitter and pissed off.
There's lesbians that think that women are beautiful, and I can understand that. You were saying that earlier.
Yeah.
But then there's those women that got screwed over by a shitty man, and they just blame the rest of us for everything. And they see us and they go, "You got a set of balls. You're a piece of shit."
And those are the ones I love to talk to.
Yeah.
I love to fucking
stir them up.
Oh fuck yeah!
They're
Just
the
kinda
easiest
pick
to
at 'em.
stir. Yeah.
There was
get a little bit.
There was one in Oklahoma that was pulled in. She had a Hillary Clinton. I'm with her back in that time frame. And I go, "Oh, you're with her?" Yes, I am. I said, "Women's rights, right?" "Yes, I am. That's who I'm voting for is women's rights." I said, "You don't have a problem that her husband banged every fucking intern in the world?" Well, she just fucking turned on me. And she goes, "Listen here, fat ass." I was like, "Oh, we're going to get personal." I said, "Fat ass." Yeah. I said, "You're bigger than I am, and we've got the same fucking haircut and beard." I said, "What the fuck is going on here?" She got in her car, drove off a Volkswagen Beetle with all that shit all over it. And but I got off on that. I love that shit.
Yeah.
And
stirring them
I'd
up.
see her in town sometime. I'd honk, wave at her and shit.
Just kill them with
Oh,
kindness.
just fuck it every time I'd see her.
Yeah.
How you doing, darling? And
Love
then there's an old bulldog lesbian I know, and I call her sir all the time. Boy, she gets madder and shit. I mean, mad. Went to high school with her, and I always write on her, "Thanks, sir."
Thanks, sir.
I'm not a sir. Well, you try to be one.
Love that. We crane hunting. Have y'all do a lot of crane hunting?
We crane hunt, yes.
Have you ever had one of those things come back and you're sitting in a coffin blind?
We do A-frames.
A-frames, but
Oh, okay. So we hunt a lot with coffin blinds, and we used to, because you're sitting out there. We got all the deeks out, we got our flags out, and we were shooting. We're doing snows, and I've had those come alive in a blind before.
Yeah.
Where you think that they're dead, the dog brings it back, and
it's very common in a lot of waterfowl stuff.
Yeah.
On geese, not cranes.
Not cranes.
No, because we make sure the crane is dead because them fuckers will kill you.
That's a big problem.
Poke your fucking hand. You imagine getting a beacon then through one of your hands. I saw a picture this year where a guy did that too.
Really?
Fuck yeah! I went to get one, and one of them, the whole fucking beak went through. They had the head cut off, and all I had a picture of was a beacon. Had to go to the doctor and had the fucking thing right through it.
Cranes scare me.
Well, I got real lucky because we weren't crane hunting a whole lot, but every once in a while, and they're not known to fly into deeks with geese.
Yeah.
But we had a group of them fly over, and I shot. It went down and just hard crashed. Dog went over and grabbed it, pulled it back over to us, and I grabbed it. And and there's another tornado that's coming in, so we're like, all right, fuck, grab this. I shoved it in my blind, and luckily I shoved him in. I shoved him in this way. And I've got him between my legs, and we're going to figure it out here in a minute. And that other one starts popping up. And you know how they start tornadoing around you, and we're waiting for them to get lower and lower and lower. And all of a sudden, his legs pop out and kick me in the head. And dog, and I start squirreling, and everybody next to me is like, "Dean, settle down, settle down." I said, "Fuck you, settle down." I jumped out of that coffin blind, and it's, you know, scaring up shit. And everybody's like, Dean, what's going on? Like, you got a scorpion in there? What the hell? And they look over and that crane just pops out like this, and everybody's blinds are sitting next to each other. And that head pops out like this and looks over and then jumps across everybody else's coffin blinds running this way. And everybody about just, I mean, lost it.
I broke a shotgun one time on a crane. So we had sailed one, and this was like right when we first started the podcast, and the fucker's on like a county road.
Yeah.
Well, like normally I'd shoot one. Like I'd just shoot it and be done. But I was like, the hunt was over, so I was taking guys back to their trucks. So I had like 10 people with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this crane stands up and every one of them does this number, pulls out their phone. I'm like, I can't shoot it now. It's on a fucking road.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the last thing I need is Texas waterfowl guide, podcaster, shoots crane on county road, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that's going to be fucking great for everything we got going on. So I was like, I look in the back of my truck, I look for a shovel, don't find anything. Eject all the shells, and I take that shotgun, I use it as a baseball bat, and it fucking snaps right where the handle meets all the other shit. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's just great. Like, now I got my shotgun in 2 pieces.
Yeah.
The crane's just even more mad at me now. So it's like, now what the fuck are we going to do?
Yeah.
So about 3 or 4 guys, everybody's like flanking it, and you'd have thought it was a Jaguar. Like, everybody's like looking at it and like,
well, it's scary.
people are doing this number like with their keys and shit, trying to get it to look over there so that somebody can grab it. And like it's fucking hissing at us and everything. And finally somebody, I think it was like one of the younger guys, just ate the bullet and just
wrapped him up.
Tackled it.
Yeah.
Tackled it.
I mean, I've had chase downs with.
They're fast.
They're so quick. And it's like you shoot them and you get out of your blind and you're so excited. And you might, I have like if I'm wearing my waders, at least I usually have that belt on me. It's got like 3 or 4. When I'm duck hunting and I'll go chase something down. But when you're in a coffin blind, you're not wearing your waders.
Right.
And so I'll keep like a box of shells there. So you got pop up, run to the end of the deeks, and you're chasing it, and then 1 shot, 2 shot,
Yep.
3 shot, and then you're
Fuck, I ain't got nothing.
you got 300 yards away, and then it's you and that crane. You know, you got to square up with him. Y'all got those little diggers?
The finisher, no, I don't use those. I just pop their neck. I'm always afraid.
Next question.
I'm always afraid that I'm gonna misjudge it and the fucker's gonna end up in my hand.
I'm not a fan of that. I don't.
No.
Scrambling their eggs. We just
Ring
the neck and be done with it. But I try to. I'm like you though. I always carry extra shotgun shells when I'm gonna chase down a crane.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like you get out there and like you misjudge it.
Yeah.
You get down to that last one. You're like, fuck. What am I gonna do now?
I was keeping extra buckshot in my pocket.
That's right. And
that'll handle business.
so I get
BB.
I get 20 yards closer than what I think I need to be. But they're fast. They're like you said. Like by the time you get out of the blind and chasing this fucker down, like it might be 400 yards out there.
They can run as fast as you can run. The only thing that'll ever save you on a deal like that is they get to a 5-strand barbed wire fence and they get hung up in it.
That's what happened with this one on the county road. Couldn't cross the fence, big ditch, and he couldn't get up over it. So everybody just fucking gang tackled the poor little bastard.
But they will whip your ass.
Your gator hunting story
Oh yeah.
with Booger and Lefty.
Yeah.
Tell us that
Just-
story.
God almighty.
Yeah. So you're one of the things I love about comedy is that you get to travel across the country, meet people.
Yeah.
And there for a little while, and I'm slowing down on drinking as much because I get myself in trouble. Because I hate saying no, and I love having a good time. And one of the things about Louisiana is those coon asses are they'll get you into some shit. Now, we go out, we get on this boat, and this whole time they're explaining this thing, and we're drinking, and they're not giving me a whole lot of details of how this thing's going to go down, right? And so we get on this boat. I get out there, and like I said, when you're talking to Cajuns, they got like a it's going to go down there, but do that.
Yeah, you get like 2 words out of the sentence.
Yeah, and I go, yeah, that makes
You
sense.
got to process it.
Yeah, you got to process it. You got to think about it, and you go, yeah, we'll get out there.
We call that the Terry Utley syndrome in Knox City. We got a guy that talks that way.
Yeah. And so we get out there, we get on the boat, and this whole time I'm like, okay, surely that's going to be like a gator. We're going to be checking lines, and then we're going to grab them up and then shoot them in the back of the head. Something's going to be happening.
The way Troy does it on Swamp People.
I've seen it happen before.
Yep.
or I've seen him get out, and you see a gator on the land. We're going to attack him on the land. Well, these guys get out in this John boat, and it's a flat top boat, right? They get over there and they go, okay, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna get out there, you're gonna see them eyes, okay? We're gonna pull on up to this gator here, and all you're gonna do is you're just gonna look at him. Now you can't look at this gator, okay? If you look at the gator, you're gonna pussy out. So trust us, we know what we're doing here, okay? Now you're gonna lay on your back like this, and he's poling, right? He's poling on up next to this gator, and I'm watching this whole thing, and he just rolls off on top of this gator, right? He rolls with him. They go rolling around 5, 6, 7, 8 times. He lets go. He fucks off, and then I'm like, I mean, he still made it look easy.
Now, what did he do now?
In the water?
In the water, dude. So he's sitting there, and what you do is, the gators are just floating there, and they're not bothering anybody.
Yeah.
And you lay on your back like this, okay? So you're up. So like this is your head, and this is your body. When you roll off on top of him,
Whoa, hold on. You're gonna roll off out of the fucking boat into the water on a gator?
That's what he's telling you.
Why?
for fun.
The show I saw didn't do it that way.
Yeah, no, these boys are serious. Now these are coon asses.
So how deep is this fucking water?
I'm waist deep, you know.
Fuck that shit.
And then and it's
How
not
much
only
beer
just
did you
waist
have?
deep, huh?
How much alcohol do you fucking have to sound like it's a good idea?
Half a bottle of tequila.
That's not even enough.
It was enough for me.
Fuck.
And so I'm watching this whole thing, and like he said, you're here, and what you do is you land on top of him. And they said the goal is if you put your head on his head, he can't bite you.
That's probably a good point there, but
Solid advice.
Yeah.
And you're just supposed to wrap him up like this and pull him as tight to your chest as you can, and then you just all he's doing is just rolling.
he can hold the breath a lot longer than you can, though.
Yeah, but whenever you're done, you just let go.
Huh?
You run out of breath, you just let go, and he's not holding on to you. You're holding on to him.
And he just, in theory, swims off.
In theory, he just swims.
So you weren't
off.
hunting gators, you were fucking wrestling with
Yeah,
them.
Yeah, just fucking around with them,
gator
just for
wrestling.
fun. They just love messing around.
Motherfuckers need more hobbies.
And so it gets to be
That's
my
why we
turn.
lost the fucking war. The people in the South were too busy fucking around with fucking gators and stuff. That's why
we lost the South.
Yeah, that's why they lost.
Drag them into the swamp. Let's see what happens. And so what they had was, so I see this whole thing and I go, and my confidence is through the roof. I got this hair
Yeah, right.
and
Right.
seafoam green eyes.
and seafoam green eyes. I can beat anything. And so we go on the back of this boat, and I see your brain plays tricks on you, you know, but I see this floating object, right? And I go, and they said they can tell how big he is by how far apart his eyes are. Mm-hmm. And they go, now he ain't bigger than no middle schooler.
No bigger, no middle schooler. So he's fucking what?
Yeah, 3-4 foot long, you know.
Not bigger than middle school.
He ain't bigger than no middle schooler. And so I lay on the front of this boat, and I'm thinking about like, what the fuck am I doing? And my head's spinning, and I hear that motor cut off, and I hear Booger go, whoo, get ready, baby. And so I'm just thinking about this thing and what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it. And then when the time comes, he says, go. And I just roll off on top of this boat. And when I hit this gator, I mean, my adrenaline rushes and you get that. I squeeze him as tight as I can to my body. And
How much
we
does
go
this thing
rolling.
weigh?
I mean, I didn't have a scale out there.
What would
but
you
maybe,
think?
I mean, as much as that dog weighs, 50, 60 pounds, you know?
It's a lot of fucking muscle in the
That's
water.
a lot of muscle in water, and he knows what he's doing in that water. And we go rolling around, right? And I mean, just my adrenaline's running. I'm squeezing this thing as hard as I can, and then I realize I'm doing most of the rolling, and I'm messing this thing up, you know. And I'm in the middle of the water, and I'm like, "What the fucking?" I mean, this isn't fun. I've had if it was fun, I'm over it. And he said, what was the thing to do? He said, let go and that gator's going to fuck off, right? Well, I let go and that gator does not fuck off. And so, and I'm thinking either I've killed him or he's just waiting for it to bite me, you know? Like my head's left his head. So now where's his head? It's gonna start messing me up. I let go and it pops up to the surface of the water. And now it's me, water, gator, air. He's between me and the air.
Oh, shit.
And I just turn down, I go up, I grab him, and I come back up like this, right? I pop back up into the water, and then I'm standing there, the boat's there, I'm half deep of water. I've got this gator just sucked back to me. And I look over and I see, and my buddy's in the boat too. And Gator and Booger and Lefty are up in
Booger, what a name.
are up sitting in this deck right here. And so the only thing I can think to do is just fucking chunk him in the boat. And so I chunk him in the boat, and my buddy freaks the fuck out and jumps out of the boat. And now we're both in the swamp. Now we both don't know what to do. And so we're sitting there, and I'm like, I'm freaking out. My adrenaline's running. I'm hammered. And then I look up and they're laughing their asses off, and they got a gator in the boat. These guys are crazy. What am I doing? How am I getting back home? They could just take off and leave us.
Yeah.
And so I start to settle down like this, and they're just, I mean, just dying laughing. And I'm like, man, what? Do I get back in the boat with these crazy fuckers? And so I look, and it was a fucking log.
Oh no!
You've been wrestling a log?
I've been wrestling a log that whole fucking time. And they just had their fucking, they just had a great time.
So they really wasn't going to make you jump on no gator.
Well, then I was like,
out.
yeah, that's what we're finding out. As I afterwards we get in the boat, and I'm my ego is hurt.
Yeah.
I thought I was Davy Crockett, and I'm ready to wrestle a gator. And I'm like, okay, so that was practice. You just wanted to see if I could actually do it.
See how I'd react.
See how I'd react. You wanted to see. So now I've proven myself. Can we go do it now? And Booker was like, we ain't letting you touch no gator, baby. That ain't happening.
That's why I didn't see that on a show, because nobody does that shit.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
That's why I was like,
No,
God, all
they
this
do.
shit-
I saw him do it.
Huh?
I saw him do it.
To
They
a
made me,
gator.
because I was like, I'm not doing that unless I see one of you bastards do
And
it.
he
I
did
am
do
not
it.
following it. And he did it.
But he wouldn't let you do it because he knew you'd get hurt.
Yeah,
That's
or,
good.
or just worried about getting sued or something. But if you want to do it, I know some guys.
No.
Booger and Lefty, they're doing trips. The best part, you were like, and you can wrestle a middle schooler.
Yeah. He said that at the bar. We're sitting there, and he goes, because I'm like, well, how are we going to do this thing? And he goes, well, we go down to the golf course. We got these gators. We take them out there. We go to the golf course, and we get all the problem gators for them there at the golf course. Now, problem gator is any gator under 6 foot long, you see, because a 6 foot gator ain't no problem. You can just shoot that in the head. You can make boots out of that. But a 3 foot gator, you can't make boots out of no 3 foot gator. So what you do is we take that 3 foot gator, we take him down to the bayou behind the house, and we give him some chicken strips. You let him grow until he big enough to make boots out of him. Now he just a wrestling gator, and he ain't bigger than no middle schooler. And you could wrestle a middle schooler. And at the time, I'm like, I agree. I'll fuck up a middle schooler.
Yeah.
You put a middle schooler in
You
front
find
of
me
me.
a bus, I'll beat that ass.
Yeah, 30 of them. Bring them on, dude. You just got that tequila confidence, But yeah, that's one of that. I mean,
But that's the part of being a comedian, is like you can't say no to anything.
you can't. I hate saying no.
Like, it's
the
gotta-
worst. If you want to have fun and do something, and you got the balls to do something, I mean, I'll do it. Whatever. Let's mess around. I hate saying no. It's the worst.
Now, did you really have a girlfriend that had a problem with your Crocs?
Yeah, I've had 3 or 4 girlfriends that had problems with Crocs. There's a funny story.
Thank God for real people. I'm with the girls
wearing
on
them
this.
right
I
now,
don't,
dude.
I do not understand the Croc phase.
Yeah.
And my
It's
granddaughter
comfort.
wears them all the time. I'm like, what?
Comfortable and convenient.
Can't you buy some shoes?
Comfortable and convenient. Comfortable and convenient. I hate wearing socks. I hate my toes being confined. I don't like confined toes.
You wear Crocs all the time.
I was for, so I went the first 5 years of comedy. I did not step on stage without a pair of Crocs. That was my thing.
And your girlfriends did not like Crocs.
They hated them. And one girl, we went to a wedding, and she said,
Please tell me you didn't wear Crocs to wedding. No.
we go, and she tells me, she was like, what are you going to wear to this wedding? And I said, well, I got starched jeans. I got my nice pearl snap.
Yep.
And I said, and I'm gonna wear my, well, I told her, I said, I'm gonna wear my fanciest pair of Crocs.
Fanciest pair of their Crocs or nothing fancy.
Well, they got leather tops
That's like
on them.
going to a
these
nice
ones.
Italian restaurant at Olive Garden.
Yeah, exactly. And so she goes, she just passes it over. She goes, all right, that's funny. Your fanciest pair of
You
Crocs.
said leather
I didn't
Leather
tell her.
top.
She had never seen these. but I
leather
got
top Crocs.
leather top Crocs.
You had to buy them for the wedding.
You have to.
$79.99 at Dollar General.
Yeah, down there at Cavender's where I got them. And so I got them. We get there, and we get set up and ready for the rehearsal dinner. And I got a pair of Crocs on. And she goes, what do you got a pair of boots, or are you going to wear those to rehearsal? I said, baby, I'm wearing these to the wedding. And she says, what you're going to do is you're going to go into town and buy you a nice pair of boots, because I'm not going to this wedding with a podunk cowboy in Crocs. That's not happening. And I said, well, unless you can find a pair of alligator skin Crocs, then I don't know what you're talking about, because I'm wearing Crocs to this wedding. And she just got uppity and got mad. And we go to this rehearsal dinner, and she's like, tomorrow morning you're getting up and you're going to the boot store and we're buying you a pair of boots. And I said, that's fine. If you want to spend that much money, that's whatever you want to do. and we get up and we just fighting all afternoon, fighting all day, and we get to the wedding, and she's upset, but she's not talking about it anymore. We're not talking, and we get out there, and
Did you know people at this wedding other than her?
No, it's my
Your folks, but your
folks.
friends, people.
And if it was her people, this might be a different
Okay,
story.
that's different. Okay, you're in your own backyard.
Yeah,
okay,
this is my people.
This is your wedding, not her friends.
And they know me.
Yes.
They're fine with this. Nobody, it's her that has the problem.
Nobody gives a fuck if they didn't know you if you wore a rock. I wouldn't care if a guy wore Crocs to fucking. I wouldn't even know you had shoes on, probably.
Exactly. We're all dancing and having fun, and that's the thing that I'm like attaching this to. And so we get to the rehearsal dinner, and she starts drinking, and her mood just keeps spiraling down, and she just keeps
She drank the bitch into herself.
Yeah, she did. And so she gets about 4 tequila shots, 2 cunty in, and we start just arguing. I said, baby, let's go outside. Let's just talk about this. And we go outside, and I said, no, what's the problem? And she says, it's the Crocs. And I go, baby, you're not this mad about Crocs. Something else is going on in this relationship. And she goes, it's the Crocs. And I go, baby, if you're not honest with me, we're not going to get any further in this relationship. So tell me what's going on. So you got to be honest with me here. And she goes, okay, you got a little dick. And I said, okay, go find me some boots. I'll put them on. You gotta frame it the right way. You gotta learn how to talk to me.
So she didn't last.
Yeah, she didn't last. That was. I think we broke up a couple weeks after that. It was about a month. But
And I gotta imagine you're probably a fun guy at a wedding. Like,
yeah,
you know,
dog, I'm the best at a wedding. Dean at a wedding is probably the best dean.
right?
The most fun dean, at least.
Because
Yeah.
everybody's having fun, they're drinking, they're dancing, like
love
you're in your element.
I love dancing. I love having a good time, and I love riling people up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and she's just bringing the mood down.
Just being a bummer. Some people just love that, though. They love being a bummer.
I think the funny person is the person everybody wants to be around.
Yeah.
And then when they're around them full time, they don't appreciate the funniness no more sometimes.
Yeah. When the
'Cause-
joke is, when you're because they think you're the joke, and then everybody's laughing at you, and then they're laughing at them.
Oh, right.
I think,
Yeah, they've
you know.
attached themselves to you. Like, why are you letting them laugh at you like that?
Yeah. Or then they're not getting the attention, you know?
Oh,
And
yeah.
now you're the attention guy. Everybody's looking at you, and nobody's paying attention to them.
I'd much rather be around the guy that's funny that got everybody going in a crowd than
Yeah.
the fucker that don't do shit.
Yeah.
You know, because I like to be I like to be that guy and like to be around that guy.
Yeah.
It's no fun to be in a crowd with somebody just sits in the back and don't fucking do nothing.
Yeah.
So-
You're living life. Live.
But being a comedian, it is a selfish act. Like, it's just you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no band.
Yeah.
So it's like you're used to that spotlight. And that can be hard for somebody
And
that
that's a
wants the
drug.
spotlight too. Oh, yeah, 100%. Everybody's eating out of the palm of your hand, laughing at all your shit.
It's the best.
But like if you've got somebody attached to you that wants that spotlight, and it's like, well, baby, you're just not that funny.
Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you.
I mean, like-
but yeah, I can dial it back, but it's not like you're going to pick up the slack.
Yeah, no shit. That's exactly right.
But I've heard Jerry Seinfeld talk about that. And you know, we all kind of agree about his stand up, but like he's like, it was hard. He's like, I was a selfish person. But he's like, how could I not be? He's like,
Yeah.
look what I do for a living.
100%.
I get a microphone, I've got a sold out crowd, and the spotlight's on me. And it's all me, baby.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he's like, it's hard to find that special person that can deal with that ego that you get. So how do
I'm
you
going to get bad.
how do you keep the ego in check?
Sound like the other day at Columbus, he done a pretty good job of that. They checked him pretty fast.
It usually happens for me.
It's not anything that you go out and
Yeah, no, I'm not really. Well, because then I think you just bomb enough times that you go, it is possible.
Right.
I can understand how I can bomb, because you think about it, or like early years, you go, you make people laugh. You make a whole crowd of people laugh together, and you go, well, this is it. I'll never make another crowd not laugh again.
right.
And that's just not the case.
Yeah.
And so there is times where I have to like, I view it as like there's always a black cloud that's hanging around my head. I don't know if it's going to hit me today or if it's going to be in the next 10 minutes, you know, or a week from now. But that black cloud is there, and it can hit me. So like right before I go on stage, I go, this could be the time. And then I'll have comedians go, or I like to say like right before, like we're in the green room hanging out, and everybody goes, what are you going to talk about? And I go, I say, well, I'm going to probably do this joke. I was like, I don't know. I could bomb. And I was like, I think this is the time. And they go, why would you say that? And I'm like, because it makes me think about it. It is possible. It is going to happen at some point. And if I think about that, then I go on stage with less of a like, what's up, motherfuckers, and more of like a hey, let's have fun, let's do this, you know. Like checking yourself definitely is useful, you know.
Has there been an older comedian that you've tried to like ask tips for, whatever, and they just kind of push you away?
Not really. I mean, comedians love talking and they love giving advice. And if you frame it the right way, which usually if I'm looking for advice, I'm asking like a genuine question.
Right.
Now there is, if you see comedians like a higher level than me comedian out in a non-comedy thing, they're they look at you and they go, he wants something from me. And 9 times out of 10, I've always just gone like, I'm not even going to tell them I'm a comedian.
Right.
And then just, because if you do, as soon as you tell them, they're like, oh, what's this guy want? He wants to go on the road with me. He wants to do whatever. And so I just try not to, try not to talk to him. I don't have anything to, you know, I don't want anything from you. I'll be fine in my career.
Right.
You know?
Well, I saw a video last week or the week before. There was a black comedian that was playing somewhere, and he pissed some black lady off in the crowd.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember. I've been trying to think of what exactly he brought. It's something going on in the world today. Yeah. And it was on politics and had something to do with Biden or somebody in Biden's deal. Something that had to do with the Biden family.
Yeah.
And he made a comment, and half the people in the crowd, she got fucking mad. It's like, fuck you, boy. I mean, screaming at him. She's like, what's going on? You know, and she got fucking mad. She got up and got her shit and left. And
That's great. And just leave.
And yeah, but I couldn't remember what he was like. Whatever he said was not that bad a deal. And he's like, is she really upset about that? You know, but he questioned it, and then they started having a debate back and forth. And I don't. What's the guy's name that plays on the Tom Brady roast? The guy that Tom Brady got pissed off at?
Ross? Bob Ross. Not Bob Ross.
Raw. God dang it.
We're all talking about the same guy.
Yeah,
though.
Ross. Shit.
I don't think he's that funny a guy.
Jeffrey Ross.
Jeff Ross.
And I don't find him that funny.
Yeah. I mean, he is, beat for beat, probably like the one-lining roasting.
Yeah.
That's his game.
Right. And he knows that.
And
he's making a lot of money.
Facilitates that.
Yep.
You know, knows how to find those funny people. That's probably where the best part of his career is. But I've definitely heard his roast. That particular one wasn't the best.
I didn't even watch it.
Oh, really?
No, Tom was upset with it, and we're old buddies now. We stay at the same place in Maine, so I don't want to. I don't want to do that to Tom. But
that was cool how Tom walked up and called him out for it.
Yeah, like, Tom, don't do that shit again.
Yeah, don't do that shit again.
I didn't see. I didn't see any of that, but I know that Tom wishes he would have never done that roast.
Oh,
he has come out publicly and said that he's embarrassed for his kids for what he put their mom through.
Golly, brutal. But that's what happens. You put yourself in that light. He had to have known that was what's going to happen.
I would. All you do is watch any of the roasts they do, from Hugh Hefner to Pam Anderson. I mean, they talk about all her STDs and shit. They don't fucking back off.
No.
But he got $10 million check, which he didn't need. But he's wishing he'd done that, I think.
But I wonder if he has like a rough idea. Like, are they giving him jokes? Like, hey, we're going to hit you here. We're going to hit you here. Maybe not verbatim what they're going to say, but like.
No, it's funnier to get that reaction.
Really?
I bet he
went in blind.
This is where he fucked. This is where he messed up. Is he went in there and said, "Don't say this. Don't say this."
Yeah, then they're going to say that shit.
Have parameter. Have.
That's all that they're thinking about.
What's the guide's rule around here?
If you let us know something bothers you,
we had a kid.
It's gonna be rough.
We have a guy that works for us. That's a really good kid.
I like that.
And we have a guide's round table, and he comes in and sets him. Before we got on, I was like, "Is there anything you don't want to talk about?" You know, I'm doing all my writing like you saw me doing before we started.
Yeah.
Really don't want to talk about transgenders. Me and Andy both were like,
ding ding, motherfucker.
I go, why?
Put me in for this one, coach.
Yeah. Why is that? And he told us why. What do you think I led off with? Transgenders. As soon as we did it. Fuck that shit. You go give me something free like that?
Yeah, let's go.
And he was telling one of the new guides this year, he's like, listen, I'm telling you right now.
Now, this isn't customers. This
is
guys
that work here.
Okay.
He goes, listen, I'm telling you right now.
What was his reason?
He had
a cousin that had transitioned as a family issue.
College football player and transitioned to a woman.
And so
like played tight end or some shit like that. Like
you got to probably come in here and whip my
fucking
ass.
6'7" and you're gonna try to pass. It's like Bruce Jenner. Like, you're the fucking world. tall as transgender. You're an Olympian athlete. But
Yeah.
you're going to try to pull off being a woman?
So we talked. So anyways, last year he was giving advice to you guys. He goes, listen, I know you're not going to listen to me, but if there's something that you really do not want to talk about that will embarrass you or bother you, don't tell nobody around here. He said, I'm telling you, don't tell nobody at all.
Keep that shit to yourself.
And damn sure don't tell Jeff, because he is going to ask you about it somewhere in front of other people.
Yeah.
So
And see what you really think about it.
We did that. Speaking of transgender deal, let's change this up just a second.
That's all you've talked about.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Okay.
Where are we changing?
Did you see Brittany Griner, the girl that plays basketball, that doesn't ever have a shirt on, that takes pictures of her and stuff, and there's no scars nowhere? Her wife's pregnant.
Wait.
The girl that we had to get out of Russian prison.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Her wife's knocked up now.
And she's
I don't know if she's a man or a woman or not. I don't know if she's like Big Mac or if she's really a woman that's lesbian.
well, she's
or
playing
whatever.
in a WNBA,
Well,
surely.
Supposedly her testosterone levels are so high she can't play in the Olympics. I don't know if that's true or not either.
Yeah.
You can't ever tell. But anyways, there's pictures of her with no shirt on all the time playing basketball in shorts with no shirt. And her wife's there. She don't have no scars or nothing, so I don't know if...
Wait, her chest is out?
Yes, she wears just shorts.
And
Looks
no
like-
bra, no nothing?
No, fuck, she don't need
Brittany
a bra.
Griner? No.
Got bigger titties than she's got.
I'll see if I
That's
can pull up
wild.
the video. She like shoots a basket. She's at like a pool.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up real quick. I'm sure it's all over TikTok.
But it's curious. I'm curious to see who the baby, the dad, if they went to a sperm bank or
Yeah.
if she popped some out of her extended clitoris. I mean, I'd really like to know.
That's Brittany
That's her
Griner.
right there.
She'll turn around here in a minute. But like no scars or nothing. It's a weird deal.
Now,
Oh, that's a little strange.
I've seen more than 2 sets of nipples in my lifetime,
Yeah.
and I've never seen a woman that flat chested.
I don't know. Maybe it was her. Maybe she was the one. But so you're just wondering who the baby daddy is?
I'm curious if there's a guy involved in this or not. I wish
See, that's wild that they don't take that.
Yeah, all the shit that TikTok bans, and they're gonna let that fly?
like this Primestein guy. Do you ever see that guy? Oh, he's fucking funny as shit. He called AOC Big Booty Latina, and she's all excited until she found out he was a conservative guy.
Yeah.
And then she don't talk to him, and the press walks off.
Wow.
But he goes to council meetings, and he talks about everything. And anything he hits them on, like he'll go to the Dallas School District about transgender shit, wanting to know why they got two mommies, books in the library, and he's all about it. And then the other day for Cinco de Mayo, he wanted to know if they were going to have a big booty, big booty Latina day, if they were going to have that or not. And he says that shit. What's wrong with saying big booty Latina? I mean, look at her; she's got a big booty Latina. You're Latina, aren't you? I mean, he does shit like that. But anyways, he's funny. I like.
Whenever it comes to like coming up with jokes, do you have people that you like bounce shit off of, or are you at the stage now where you're like, I know what's funny?
I know what's funny and I know what'll work. The problem is making sure I'm not stealing anybody's jokes.
That's a hard thing, right?
That's a hard thing because if you're consuming anything, that's why I try not to listen to podcasts with comedians anymore.
Right.
Or it really sucks. But unless they're like old specials that I've already watched, I'll go back and watch those. But anybody's new specials, I can't watch them.
Right.
Because that could put something deep seated in my head that I'm gonna forget, and then it'll pop back up in my head. And if I'm constantly writing, and I'll put a premise down, and I'm like, oh, that's genius. The way like what I do now is I'll bounce if I come up with something that's just like really good, and then I'll call up. I got 2 or 3 buddies that I trust that I'll call and go, have you heard anybody do this? And then that naturally leads into them like helping with tags, and because that's one thing that like if I come up with a premise, it's mine. But if you help me with a tag, if you give me something funny and then you're like, just use it, I don't feel bad about using it.
Right.
You know. But after 4 or 5 years, you get a pretty good idea, and the crowd is what tells you if it's funny or not.
Right.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
You can think something's hilarious, but until people laugh at it, it's like it might not work.
Yeah.
You know.
What's like the joke where you were like, oh, this is gonna be it, and then you get up stage and you're like, ooh,
And then
misjudged
nothing.
that one.
Nothing. One recently was or I don't know. I think the one that the problem is if I think it's funny and I go on stage and nobody laughs at it, it's like, well, now this is stuck in my head. I
gotta work it out.
Figure out how to make this funny. Because if I think it's funny, like, why don't they think it's funny? It frustrates, infuriating. But hamster cancer.
Hamster cancer?
I don't know what, I came up with it one day, and I think I was delirious, and I thought hamster cancer was funny. And then I go on stage, and I just, for like maybe 6 months, I would just throw it in every once in a while. I'd be frustrated. I'd rewrite, go on stage, and it would just bomb everywhere. I could be even having, and like there's a certain aspect of if you get a crowd rolling, you can say anything and they'll laugh.
Yeah.
But that hamster cancer thing was just something that I would say it, and then everybody'd be like, where's the funny? Like, just those two words next to each other are hilarious to me. Like, who spent their entire life or any amount of time figuring out if a hamster can even have cancer? And eventually I found a way to make it, turn it into a good bit, and I just recently stopped using it. But it's where I go in there, the guy tells me it's got cancer, and I'm like, and he's like, oh, but don't worry, there's treatment options. Like, I bet there is. I bet there is. How much is that? And then he goes, well, if you don't want to do the treatment options, we recommend that you do euthanasia. And I go, well, what's that going to set me back? And he goes, well, it's the cheapest and most ethical way, but it is $75. And I go, well, that's not the cheapest or the most ethical way. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, well, now it's an argument of ethics. You think it's ethical to stick them on a cold table and fill them full of chemicals. That's ethical. I was like, well, I think of ethical if you get a big enough rock. That's daylight nighttime for a hamster. And then I said, so ethical and $75. Well, if $75 is the budget, it costs $45 for an RC car that goes real fast. And it's $5 for a little Evel Knievel helmet. You can stick that on the little bastard. And then, whatever. Give him a Viagra and send him off a fucking bridge, Give him some... let him go to Valhalla with some honor. But that took me, it's like 6 months to figure out, like, why is a hamster cancer funny? But I usually come up with, like, it'll be like 2 or 3 words. And then I go, okay, now how do I make this funny? Mm-hmm. Like when I don't have anything creative that I'm working on and nothing's going, I'll just start writing 2, 3, 4 words, and I'll do 30 or 40 different, variations of that. And then I go, okay, how do I make homeless lives funny? What do I do with that? Homeless lives matter. How do I make that funny? And then I'll go, medium roast. Well, how do I make medium roast funny? How do I make hunter owned funny? I try to take words and then just start writing on them. And because there's some nights where I'm like, I just don't, for whatever reason, I'm tired. I've been doing too much. Like this weekend, we were rolling dice till midnight, and then we were getting up, and that's a problem with, not the problem, but the Dale is, he doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs, he's addicted to work. He's a hard-working dude, and he'll stay up. We bucked bulls till 5. We stayed up till probably 8 or 9, eating steak and hanging out, and then he goes to bed. And then the rest of the cowboys are like, well, what are we doing? Let's drink some beer and let's roll some dice. So we're out there just rolling dice till midnight. And then I got back to the house, and there's no service, I get back to the house, I plug my phone in, and he goes, we're doing jujitsu at 6 a.m. And I got that. I can't say no. And so every single morning, every night I was playing dice till midnight, drinking beer. And then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I can't miss this opportunity. And so I'm getting up and rolling with them. And so just driving over here, I was falling asleep. I had to go get a daggum, one of those, Black Rifle coffees. And then you coming in here, and then I'm like, oh man, I'm going to be, sitting there, and I'm not going to be funny. But that happens with comedy. You gotta push past it. And my thing is just the amount of, if somebody can be funnier than me, but they're not going to outwork me.
Right.
I'm going to have enough material. And every time somebody comes to see me, they're probably, unless they come within like a 2-week period, like if you see me back to back, you might hear the same joke, but it's going to have a different tagline. It's always going to be getting better. And as soon as I think it's done, I'm shelving it.
Really?
Like
so you won't do the greatest hits.
I'll bring it out. Okay, I'll bring it out for like if I'm doing like a headlining set and it's really important,
right?
I'll think about it. But as soon as I think a joke is done, but the point is, as soon as I think a joke is done, I lose interest in it. there's nothing left to build.
Right.
And so if I'm not telling it, if I'm not excited about it, it's not going to work. And so I love the aspect of like, this could go bad. I love that energy, you know, and staying funny like that is important to me.
So like when comedians go on tour, are they hitting the same jokes over and over again every single night?
They're building their hour. And so, it's different strokes for different folks. And so there's a lot of comedians that'll find that 45 and then just hone it down. But you're always adding stuff and taking stuff away, you know? So I think it would be pretty rare if a comedian got to the point where he had that tight material and then just keeps doing it every single night. Just,
right.
I mean, beat for beat, word for word. Like a lot of comedians will do like, okay, I know the first 25 minutes are never changing. That's exactly the same. And then after that 25 minutes, they'll add like something completely new so that they get that, you know, I want to do something different. You know, I want to make sure that if you came to see me, you don't go, you know, I saw this guy's doing the exact same stuff,
right.
You know. But which also, that's a little bit of an irrational fear, because if you came in, you're not going to memorize my 45 minutes.
Right. Right.
Even if you hear a song that you love, it takes you 7 or 8 times before you even can sing the chorus.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I just didn't know because, like, you know, the Netflix specials and everything, I didn't know if they were hitting 2 months of comedy shows to dial in that set for that Netflix special.
It takes 6 months. I mean, it used to take people 4 or 5 years to build an hour, you know, and just something that's really, really that good. And now it probably takes like a true professional, like, I don't know, let's say Sam Talent. It probably takes him a year, 6 months to a year to build like a whole hour. And he's one of the best in the world right now.
Right.
And like for me, I still don't, I've got 45 now because I'm doing it, but it probably took me 4 years to build that hour.
Right.
So now I'm looking forward, you know, you get better as you go, but I'm looking at that like, God, if I got to keep doing this, like to just release that and then have to just shelve all of that and then just start again is scary.
Right. Yeah. How has social media changed the comedy world? Because, I mean, in one aspect, it's like easier to reach more people, but like there's so many people that are on Instagram releasing these little bits.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just, I think it's taken the power out of the industry, because it used to be you had to follow their rules and follow their stuff. And it's like, no, I don't. Because I've got people that'll listen to my stuff now. If you can figure out how to get, you know, fans like that.
Yeah.
Used to be the industry told people who was good. And now people don't have to trust that. They can find out for themselves, you know? So it takes the power out of the hands of the industry and gives it to the individual. And I think that's the best part of it. But the bad part about it is it's saturated.
Yeah.
People hear so much. It's just constantly. If you want it, if you want the algorithm to give it to you, it'll give it to you. You know, you'll just have joke after joke after joke after joke. And then, but I think the biggest thing I want to tell people is if you enjoy comedy on your phone, you're going to love it so much more at a club. Like
that
experiencing live comedy is the best way to experience it.
Yeah.
Like you got to go to the club, and that's how we make money.
Yeah.
Like I don't make money from somebody watching my clip online, and that doesn't help my career as much as it is just come and see it. You know, come experience it. It's a different animal.
Yeah.
Live.
How much do you have like a pre-game ritual that you abide by before you hit the stage?
Not abide by. I like to. I'll go through like different things. I'll go through. You know, like at one point I used to listen to the Kennedy speech. When he's speaking at Rice University in Houston, and he's talking about going to the moon. It's an 18-minute speech, and so normally like a feature act is 20 to 25 minutes. And so that speech is 18 minutes. And so I'd listen to the first 4 or 5 minutes of his set, and then I would set that speech on. And then I would just sit there and think about what I was going to say, what I was going to do. And then I don't like having something that's like that serious, because it's like, what if I'm stuck in a place where I can't do that?
Right.
And then I'm going to freak out because I don't have my special thing. It's like, no, just be on.
Right.
You know?
What was it about the Kennedy speech?
I think it's the best speech of all time.
Really?
Yeah. I think that's the best. I mean, it's the most interesting. He's the most confident. He tells like 2 or 3 jokes during it that just like get the crowd roaring. It was an interesting time in history.
Yeah.
You know, we're racing the Russians to be the first to go to the moon. And the only reason we're doing it is to say, fuck you to Russia.
Yeah.
To make sure that we are the first to be out there, and so that we can set we can handle space peacefully. If we're the first to go, then we can make sure that we set a preeminence of peace. But it's just like it was just hanging our nuts out there, and that's what I mean. That's like part of I love about America. You know, like Russia's fucking around, and they're being dickheads. And we're the best,
right?
And we're gonna prove it, and it's gonna be hard, but we go to the moon not because it is easy, but because it is hard. And it's got one of my favorite quotes, which is William Bradford speaking in 1630 about the founding of the Plymouth Bay colonies, where he said, "All great and honorable actions are accompanied with great difficulty, and both must be enterprised and overcome with answerable courage." I think that's like as a quote, that's just a fucking badass one.
So do you think that we went to the moon?
Yes.
You do?
100%.
You think the Earth's flat?
No.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Andy?
I'm losing the flatness of the Earth. I don't know. The moon landing. So what I've said before is I don't know if we've gone to the moon, but I don't think the footage that we see is from the moon.
Okay. I could see that. I don't know
think.
if that particular one.
Right. Because like you said, like
real.
we're in this space race with Russia. It's like you said, we're hanging our nuts out and like we've got to be number one.
So you think we went to the moon now?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the footage that we see, I don't think is from the moon.
I used to be a we went to the moon guy.
Yeah.
I have a hard time now if we went to the moon.
Okay.
I don't know that we went to the moon. I used to be one of these people that believed everything our government said. I think, and now as we get older and older, I feel everything's a charade. So I don't know if we went to the moon.
Because the moon rocks that the astronauts brought back, they put it under a magnifying scope and it was petrified wood.
Ooh.
Sorry. I think we gave it to like Austria or something. But yeah, that...
and they went and actually tested it. Now, I think,
it was petrified wood.
I think
who's to say there's not petrified wood on the moon?
That's the other thing. Moon rocks.
That's the problem with it. I don't know, and we're not going to know probably ever. There's a lot of fugazi bullshit around it.
Yeah, but like today, like there's been, what has there been like the claiming to have been like 10 times now. Yeah.
Moon. I don't know how many times.
Somebody just supposedly the other day, China had a craft up there. Supposedly, I don't know.
Moon Rocking Museum is just petrified. We gave it to the Dutch.
They said Thursday. It's
this is an older article.
brought back to the moon by astronauts. It's just a piece of petrified wood.
Whoops.
You think if you were going to give shit away, though,
maybe there were trees up there one day. You know, I mean, fuck, we don't know. But yeah, this article's from 2009, so I'm not breaking news here.
Yeah, maybe we were just messing with the Dutch.
So
yeah, right. Like, hey, look what I got you.
Yeah.
They're not. They'll never
That's
test
from Arizona.
this.
Yeah. Suckers.
what's your schedule from here out? So people want to come see you. Where do they go?
So you can go to my Instagram, the website. There will have have all of my dates. I leave here, go back to Austin this weekend, and then from there I'm going to Colorado in New York first in July. I'll be there for 2 weeks, and then
in New York City.
New York City. I'm gonna go do the Stand, which is one of the comedy clubs there, Brooklyn Comedy Club. And then I'm just gonna go around and do the open mics, try my best to get on the cellar, and then I've got a couple private shows that I'll be rocking in New York. And then when I get back, I'm going straight on a road. I just bought a 1986 Ford Falcon. Have you ever seen one of those?
Yes, I don't remember them though.
It's a here, I'll pull up
I remember the old Falcons. I don't remember them in '86 having Falcons. Why did you buy an '86 Ford Falcon?
Well, mostly because it was very cheap. Okay. And I have a problem with
that old boy right there.
Oh, no.
What I type in wrong?
Let me see.
You sure you bought a Ford Falcon?
Yeah, it says
on purpose.
On the let me see.
I mean, like if you just said I bought a 1976 black gold Trans Am, I'd be like, I understand that.
Oh yeah.
But a 1986 Ford Falcon, I graduated in high school in 86, and I don't remember a Ford Falcon being much of a car.
Well, it's not a car; it's a van.
Huh?
It's a van.
A Falcon? I don't remember that being. That's called a Falcon. I remember them. It damn sure is. Look at that. Put a Falcon.
Oh shit!
What do they call them? They call them something vans. Not excursion van. They had a word for it. And I can't remember what it is. I remember what those are
SUV?
like.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
a
look,
Mary
here,
a Mary Miller kind of
like
thing.
right here.
Econoline.
Econoline. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is, right there.
Econoline 250.
No, it's
So what are you gonna do?
63. He bought an 86.
Well, I know that, but it's just this style of vehicle.
Yeah, if you put 86 Ford Van, but it's an they had a name for it. I can't remember what it is. So anyways, you're going to travel up there in that?
So I'm going to start going on the road. I have because I've been flying and losing a lot of money flying. And so me and Spencer Cavins, Dave J. Jonjua, and Jack Timmons, probably Cam, are just I'm gonna be the headliner. Just
There they are right there.
There
there it is. So we're gonna start hitting the road in those bad boys. And you can if you want to see me in your town, just holler and we'll be showing up in that.
So you're
Are
going
you gonna wrap it or anything? Anything cool? Oh yeah, you gotta do that.
Yeah.
so you're going to go to New York. You're going to drive that in Manhattan.
No, I'm
You're
gonna fly
flying to Manhattan?
I'm gonna fly to New York.
Okay.
That run will start in August, and I have the Valley, Rio Grande Valley. We're gonna be doing Corpus.
You can put 74
Harlingen.
Mexicans in that thing.
Yeah, you can. Let's make some money, dude. Let's make some money.
Everybody's listening says, I can't believe he said that. But you never played softball in Wichita Falls against the Padres, and they showed up to play softball one time, and it's like they're like 2 minutes to go, and the umpire's like, if they're not here in 2 minutes, we're not playing. We're like, we want to play. Fuck you, you're a grown man. Softball. You don't want to get a win by a forfeit. You want to play.
Yeah.
Like, God
That's
dang
what
it.
you
We
do
got
the game for.
And the guy goes, they're here. This
all
one
show
fucking
up.
car pulls up, and fucking 9 guys, grown men got out of one fucking
And they
car.
come all the way from South Padre.
No. They were called the Padres. Was the
they're
name of
called
their
the
team.
Padres, okay.
But they pulled up. They had 9 people in one fucking vehicle, and I laughed so hard.
There's some stereotypes just ring
Yes,
true.
that's true fact. Got a good family, a friend of ours. They'd just go to the stock show, and there'd be like 13 of them. They get one hotel room. Like, where the fuck's everybody sleep? They fucking 4 people in each bed, 3 on the floor, 1 in the bathtub, and the kids were fighting over who got to sleep in the tub. That was the best bed.
I've slept in the tub.
Yep.
You put a few blankets in there, a couple pillows.
Comfortable.
It's like it's hugging
just
you.
happy.
Natural recline.
So go to the Instagram and they can find the dates where you're going to be at.
And it'll be all on Instagram. That's getting cleaned up after this weekend. We'll have everything dialed in for August. And August we're just going to stay on the road until October. So we're going to start in the Valley. We're going to go up to Oklahoma. Fort Worth, I'm gonna hit the Hyenas. So if they're around here, if people are around here, it's definitely the best place to see me. And then Oklahoma City, Colorado. We're going up through Montana, the Dakotas, and then we're gonna come back down through Arkansas or through Tennessee, Arkansas, New Orleans, and then we're gonna circle through Houston and end back in Austin.
The No Teeth Tour through Tennessee and Arkansas.
Yes, Sirski.
Well,
Yes, Sirski.
when you get back through and you get done with that, we'd love to have you back on again. Come out here and see us again.
I really
come
appreciate
out during
that,
hunting
guys.
season
Yeah.
and come shoot with us, and we'd like to have you on again. I've really enjoyed this. It's different insight on life.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. We get to talk about hunting a whole lot, but I
That's
really
okay.
appreciate
We
the-
talk about hunting all the time. We like talking about
I don't want to hear about hunting.
the comedian
Thanks a
life.
lot, Dean. We
Yeah, appreciate you
coming
guys
in.
Hey, I
having me.
appreciate you so much.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
sir, and bless
Mr.
you.
Stanfield.
Thank you. Just
All right.
call me Jeff.
All right, bye everybody. Watch for deer.
Thank you, guys.
No, November.